Hello, welcome everyone. Hello,
Hello.
friends. Hello, new friends, old friends. We are so excited to be with you today. My name is Steven. I use he, him, himself pronouns, and welcome to Seriously Let's Play. This is Rook and Rasp's community building show where we bring fans, gamers, and creators from all over the RPG sphere and say, hey, let's play a game. So we are so excited to be here with you today. We're going to be playing Court of Blades, which is a Blades in the Dark game. We'll be talking a little bit more about that in a minute. But before we hop in there and before we introduce our amazing players today, I just have a few announcements before we get started. Oh, did I say good morning? Oh, goodness. That's just kind of the time period I'm in. I'm a forever morning person.
No,
So,
no, the correction was me, Stevie. I typed in after non because
um,
I because my fingers don't work, really.
Oh, gotcha. Listen, we're all doing our best on this Saturday. That is the theme. Our players, our characters, we're all doing our best. Now,
For sure.
in 2 weeks, Rook and Rasp is going to be doing a charity stream marathon for the IGDN, the Independent Game Designer Network, for their diversity scholarship, and it helps to raise money for and raise up minority and underrepresented groups in the TTRPG creator sphere. The scholarship winners are assigned mentors who have published in the industry, and they also attend Metatopia, the yearly training program for game creators put on by Double Exposure Inc. As part of this marathon, we're going to have Craig Campbell, current president of the IGDN, running his upcoming game Code Warriors, which is part Tron, part Reboot, and part Mad Max. In the evening, we'll have Sean Jaffe from the IGDN and company Nerdy City running Commanderoids, a Saturday morning transforming robot show where players take on roles of teens and their robot companions who fight the forces of evil. So be sure to tune in and join us there to support a great cause, a great organization in 2 weeks' time. A great way to stay up to date about what's happening is to join the Discord. And the Discord server is a great place to go, to hang out, to find friends, as well as keep up to date on the cool things that are going on. One other cool thing that is coming up this Tuesday is that we are continuing by Leaps and Bounties, which is the Seventh Sea show. And it is a lovely show of pirates and roguery and all sorts of shenanigans. And last time we looked in on them, Giovanni Villanova, the merchant prince of Vadachi, has just arrived in town. So in order to see how that all sorts out, I'm sure everything will be fine. You want to tune in on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern at this channel. And additionally, the first week in October, on Thursdays, so starting October 6th, there is a new show starting that is going to be our Dragon Age campaign. So it's going to be using the Age system by Green Ronin, and it takes place in the mysterious Orlais. So if you're familiar at all with the Dragon Age franchise, be sure to tune into that and stay plugged in for all the things that are going to be going down with that show. But that is the announcements. So to bring us a little bit into what we're going to be doing today, we are going to be playing Court of Blades, which is based on Blades in the Dark. It is a Blades in the Dark hack, so it's a Forged in the Dark game. And I will post the link to Court of Blades in the chat. I encourage you to support them. It is made by a couple of Drakes. We are not associated with them. We are just big fans and really excited to be playing this game on this channel. And so, before we get to our players, allow me to set up Court of Blades. We are taking a look into a fantastical world of Renaissance magic, discovery, skullduggery, ambiance, and subterfuge. We are in the world of Illyrian, which is a excellent, magnificent city that is ruled by 6 major houses of the Esoter. And our players today are going to be retainers of the House Bastien, one of the noble houses of the Esoter, and they will be navigating a world filled with political intrigue, with romance and drama, with scandals and magic and surprises. And they're going to be doing their best to navigate that world and serving their house well and faithfully, while also managing to avoid any scandals or negative consequences that might come from any actions on their part. Now, I'd love to get started and introduce our players, so we can just go around. If you want to introduce yourself, your pronouns as you feel comfortable, and then who you're going to be playing today and a little bit about them, we can start off with Akala.
I'm Danielle. You've probably seen me a lot here on Serious Let's Play. I'm also on the One-Legged GM YouTube channel where I play WD-42 on the Restore Core. And today I am playing Leslie Castellion. And he is the Eye.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle. All right, Aaron.
Hi, I'm Erin. I go by she, her, and today I forgot everything. I will be playing. I'll be playing Penelope Crane, and she will be the Couth.
Excellent. All right, Corey.
I am Corey. I use they and she pronouns. I will be playing Alban Terra, the House Bastion Bravo. Alban uses they, them pronouns, but any work for them too.
Awesome. Thank you, Corey. And Michael.
My name is Michael. You may have seen me here before on Rook and Rasp for some serious Let's Plays and the Heckin' Good Doggos show. Today I'll be playing Montague Harris. He is the Knack, and he uses he, him pronouns, much like I do.
Excellent. Thanks, y'all. Really excited to explore your characters today. If you are familiar with Blades in the Dark or other Forged in the Dark games, we're going to ask your grace as we explore and play this game for our first time. We might fudge the rules a little bit, but again, we're here just to play, to tell a cool story, and to have fun. So, the challenge today. Your coterie, your group, who's been together for a little while now, you have come to be known as the Amuse Bouche, which is the name that y'all decided on for your little coterie. And you have a reputation of being unconventional, extravagant, courageous, and meticulous. So you have managed to garner yourself quite a reputation here in the city of Ilrayan. And when we think about House Bastien is the champion of the people. House Bastien is loved by the common folk and only barely tolerated by the other houses of the Esotar at best. So you have risen from the ground to these noble houses, and now you are navigating among the world of the powerful and influential. And as you are navigating this world, you have been given an invitation to a masquerade ball hosted by House Lavelle. And these are the socialites of the Esoter. They are the people who are in control of all the whispers, who know everyone's secrets, who are plugged into all of the channels and the little secret darknesses that exist along the shadows of the world. And so, as you are invited to this party, you are instructed by your house not only to attend and to represent your house in the way that you are expected and to avoid causing a scandal, you have also been given a secret mission. And that is to discover additional bits of evidence, blackmail, things that you can use against the challenges and the inter-house squabbles between the House Esoter, so finding some blackmail, and if you can swing it, finding your way to the vault of House Lavelle, where the party is being hosted, in order to discover a new ancient relic that has rumored to be in the vault of the Lavelle house. Now, how you go about doing that and what you end up doing is going to be entirely up to y'all. There is a couple different ways for y'all to approach this situation. So before we hop into the action, we're going to be doing a little bit of planning. So, y'all are invited to a masquerade, and you have these challenges set ahead of you. In your setup, in talking with your coterie about how you're going to approach this, how would you like to approach this challenge? Would you like to arrive as guests? Do you have a plan or a scheme to enact? What are some general thoughts about how you want to approach this situation?
Well, being as Monty is somewhat of a accomplished magician, he could appear as perhaps entertainment.
Hmm?
Well, we already have the invite, so we don't quite need to sneak our way in, which is good.
We want to enter ourselves.
Exactly. Undergoing such a dangerous task as to find this artifact, it may be best to appear in secret subterfuge, as it were.
We
I'm
will
assuming
just
you're going
have
to need
give
a.
it.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I'm assuming
One
you're
at a
going to need a
time. One at a
diversion.
time.
No, all at one time.
Maybe later.
We will have the invitations on hand if we get called out on being there, but one does not need to enter with them.
Well, every ball I got into before this one, I just went in with the staff. It was much easier to get anything from other people.
That is fair.
Indeed, the staff is easily overlooked by people of our stature, of our rank.
Mhm.
Except by us.
That
Well,
may-
we know
that-
better.
That may be our ideal entrance to. I mean, we can easily cloak ourselves.
All right. So it sounds like y'all are going to be taking a stealthy approach and going to be disguising yourselves as either staff or entertainment, it sounds like. All right.
Sounds like the plan.
All right. So the other couple things to decide ahead of time is one is how many items you're going to be carrying with you. So the way that inventory works in this system is that you get to decide if you are carrying a discrete load or if you are loaded. And a discrete load is you get 1 to 3 points that you can use for any of the items that you see listed under your gear. And as we go through the situation, you don't need to decide what your gear is now, but as situations arise, you can choose to spend your points in order to say, I bring out my lantern, I bring out my pistol. So if you are going discreet, you have a little less inventory with you because you're going more stealthily. If you are loaded, you have more options. However, you might be noticed a little bit easier. People might be able to pick out that, oop, that person might be causing some trouble. So are people going with a more discreet or a loaded inventory setup?
May we come in with some loaded and stash it somewhere?
Ooh,
We are coming in with the staff after all.
ooh. I really like that idea. Yeah, you know, if in your approach you figure out a way to have a bag or a trunk or manage to carry something in and find a place to stash it, I will say that you will be able to act as if you have loaded. So, but on your persons, are you operating with discreet or loaded?
Person's discreet for me.
Yeah, I think I'm also operating discreet.
I think I'd be operating a little bit more loaded, but that's expected of a Bravo. I'm supposed to have my stuff with me. I'm supposed to have my blade on my hip.
Monty will go in loaded, as always. I'm rarely not loaded.
All right. So for those who are going in loaded, you have 4 to 6 to use. For those who are going in discreet, you have 1 to 3. So y'all can go ahead and use 3 and 6 respectively. But for those of you who are discreet, if y'all manage to pull off this bringing and stuff and stashing, you can act as if you're loaded because that's a really cool idea.
Awesome.
I do like that idea.
All right. So we're going to go into also, another fun mechanic of this game as we're learning it is that as we go throughout the scenario, if you want to have something called a flashback, you are able to flash back to a time when either you were planning something, you were talking with a guard at an earlier time, you were buying or obtaining something, you were gathering information about some other thing, something that you did outside of the current moment, you can do a flashback. And depending on what the flashback is, it may or may not cost you stress in order to do so. But that is, hello, welcome to my cat. I was wondering when they were going to make an entrance. So we also have a way to be a little non-linear in how we play this game. So it pays off to be creative in how you use flashbacks. So know that as we go forward, you can always call for a flashback. Yeah, the kitties always get the spotlight. All right. So this brings us to our introduction into action. As y'all approach the manor of House Lavelle, you are greeted by a stream of nobles, all in their fanciest attire, many wearing complicated and extravagant masks, some that cover half their face, some that cover their whole face, some that blend into the costume that they're wearing. You see floating lights all along the pathway leading up to this magnificent house, and the grand doors that are swung open to welcome the crowd inside. Now, you, as retainers for House Bastien, this isn't your first time experiencing such opulence, but you are reminded of the first time you experienced this kind of grandeur. It is dark out, the lights are magnificent, everything seems to glitter, even the sidewalk seems to shine. What was the first time you remember experiencing this level of opulence?
Oh, for Alban, it was the first time he was brought to House Bastion as a young warrior. Brought in to guard a party, and then from there made enough connections and impressions to be brought into House Bastion proper. So, it brings back memories.
Mhm.
For Penelope, it was the first time she accidentally got looped in with the staff and was suddenly thrust into this extravagant party full of light and full of finery, and it's exactly where she wanted to be. So she found a way to worm her way into it.
Well, Leslie was the child of writers, so uh, he was privileged to accompany his father to an audience with his patron in such an opulence as this.
Oh, Monty'd been to many parties before, but his first was really as an apprentice, many, many years ago. For a third-rate magician, I quickly outshined, but the party itself was magnificent.
Excellent. And as you take in this wave of nostalgia that washes over you, it's easy, it could be easy to slip into a false sense of security. So beautiful is the scene in front of you, so warm is the nostalgic feelings, but you know now. You're older now, you've experienced many things in the service of House Bastien, and you know how much danger there is beneath the glittery lights, beneath the dress and the masks and the words that cut. You know exactly how dangerous this mission could be. And so as you make your way around the estate towards the entrance where the staff might be, the staff entrance you know to be, what are y'all wearing? What is your overall disguise or look about you?
Well, I think us coming in with the staff, something that would fit with the staff of that household, maybe a little bulkier, as if
Mm.
something more extravagant is hidden underneath for a
Mm.
quick change. But that's my general idea if we're going in through the back. Browns and blacks and don't notice me colors.
Just a baggy tunic over with a cloak.
Simple
And
dark.
I will have also altered my facial appearance in some ways.
Ooh, in what ways?
I have put on the makeup to make my bones more prominent, but and also have a false beard.
Nice.
I don't think Alban can grow a beard to save their life, but yeah, full white shirt, tabard on inside out, but you can't tell because it's that interlined sort of tabard. Plain black breeches. Still got his weapon on his hip. He looks like a guard, or they look like a guard currently. So.
Oh, Monty's going in colorful, as always. Polka dotted shirt, smooth emerald green cloak, a little bit of paint on the face, something to draw the eye.
Yeah. So as your group approaches, you definitely see the guards, their eyes kind of pass over you. They seem to pause on some of you, kind of taking in your attire, and we're going to do the engagement roll. This is what's going to launch us into action and to what y'all are going to do. So I'm going to need one person to roll. Let me see. So you're doing a bold and daring plan, I would say. That's pretty smart. I really appreciate the creativity and how y'all are going about this. So I'm going to say roll. Let's see.
Well, the eye could never go through the front door.
Roll 3d6. And you're going to take the highest result, and that is going to be the success. So let's see, a 6 is a full success, 4 to 5 is partial success, and 1 to 3 is a bad outcome. Multiple 6s is a critical success. So who'd like to roll it?
Who's feeling what I guess I could. I already have my dice in front of me.
Corey,
All right, Corey,
feel
go
free.
for it.
And they're nice, shiny, pretty dice, too. 6 is my highest.
6 is your highest?
6, 4, and 3.
Very nice. Okay, so that means you are in a controlled position when the action starts. That means as y'all make your way in, and are you carrying a trunk or a bag, or what are you doing with the extra items?
I think it's that classic kind of caterer tray with the curtain over it.
Mm,
The
very
two
nice.
sacks- The 2 sacks, one of useful, one not.
I was going
Very
to
nice.
suggest that if Monty is coming in as entertainment, it could also be part of his gear, per se, his requirements to perform.
Easily wheeling in trunks.
Exactly.
Very nice.
I mean,
For
at least
sure.
one trunk has to be big enough to put someone in.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So as y'all approach, you're in a controlled position, so the guards, they just barely pause as they look over you as you make your way in to the back pathways of the house. You see servants and cook staff and messengers going to and fro. You know from being in the Lavelle house before, as well as being at previous parties, that there will be a main ballroom where there will be entertainment and music and dancing, as well as many salons around the outside where people can move off to have more private conversations, to engage in small games. You also know there is a garden exterior area that people are known to wander about, perhaps even to sneak a smooch or a canoodle of some sort. I know, very scandalous. There's many a scandal that could happen here. And you know that you will have to navigate past some of these rooms and past some of the things like the kitchen and other places to get to some of the more private areas of the house. What would you like to do first? You are in the hallways with your bags and trays of stuff and your cart of stuff. What would you like to do?
Make way, make way.
All right. So it sounds like you are
Someone please direct me to where I can set up.
excellent. So why don't we do? They don't know you. So why don't we do a, let's see, are you doing, what skill would you say you're using right now?
Let's see. Well, looking at my sheet, I would say it probably fits best with command, but I don't have any command, so perhaps sway?
I could see sway. We can make an argument for sway. So maybe you're being a little bit more cordial to folks. And saying
Perhaps.
like,
Please show me where I can go set up.
Yeah, so you're going to roll a d6. Now, if someone is assisting you, you can add a d6. I just have to know what that person is doing in order to assist you. And then depending upon your roll, it'll determine how things turn out. And, yes.
Perhaps whoever is assisting me can maybe help Montague the Magnificent be a little bit more personable and less demanding.
Montague the Magnificent is purely looking to set up the show for the night. For tonight's entertainment, you would not want to impede him in setting up what will entertain.
Excellent.
Thank you,
All
dear.
right.
Thank you.
All right, Monty, you can have 1d6. Now, before you roll, there is a additional thing that you can do in this game. You can choose to either push yourself, which is you take 2 stress and you get an extra die, or you can do something called taking the lady's favor, where I set up a scenario or an option, a trade-off of some sort, and you would accept the offer in order to get an additional die. You can either
Well,
push yourself or do the
I'll
lady's
do
favor.
that. Of course, I'll do that. The lady's favor.
The lady's favor?
Setting
Okay.
myself for some kind of future engagement or otherwise a dangerous situation, certainly.
So one of the things that we use in this game in order, to track progress is called progress clocks. So I have some clocks on my end that are called things like party security alertness and court disapproval. So I will say you can get an extra dice if you take, and there are 8 sections on these clocks.
Mm-hmm.
If you take an extra tick on the party security alertness, the security is a little more alert to your awareness, to your presence.
I feel like that makes sense. Monty certainly hasn't made a show of being subtle.
All right, then go ahead and roll 3d6, and I'm going to mark
Wonderful.
no matter if you win or lose, I still get that tick mark.
Oh, of course. The house always wins.
Of course.
All right, here we go.
Mhm.
No 6s.
What's your highest?
Highest is a 5.
A 5. So a partial success. So you someone a servant notices your call and says, "Oh, but of course, Master Montague, of course." And they go to take you down a hallway leading you towards one of the salons. And as you are going by, you are walking by an entire contingency of guards who get a nice, good eyeful of y'all. So you manage to achieve your goal. You are going towards the salon you're being shown in. However, the guards, I am going to raise the alertness by 1 tick.
All right.
And no, the clocks can go up and down. So successes can also lower them, and failures can raise them. I also have a clock going called court disapproval. So if y'all manage to do things that are particularly uncouth or unbecoming for the House Bastien, there will be consequences. So you are led to one of the salons in the far corner. You see that at the moment, no entertainment is set up there, which is probably why this person has led you to this salon. Is there anything I should know about as y'all are led to the salon? Are y'all still carrying all your stuff with you?
Yeah, I think we'd likely be dragging a couple of boxes behind. All the supplies, of course, for the magic show, or for the entertainment.
I am looking like the most basic of servants, grunting, stuff like that. I am not talking. I'm keeping my heads down. And I probably got the biggest load. I want the least attention on me.
Leslie, don't sweat too much. That fake beard will peel right off.
I have been doing this for a long time. It is quite secure.
Just
I have a question as we're passing the guards. Do
Mhm.
they look like they're expecting trouble, or do they look more like this is just par for the course for the night for them?
They look like consummate professionals. The contingency of guards, they don't seem overly alert at this point, but they are definitely, I would say, on the job. They are alert, they are noticing faces, they are scanning the room whenever they walk by. They do have weapons on them. This is the height of the social season, and different acts of espionage are not uncommon in this world. So I would say that this seems like this is an important event, and so they are suitably alert.
But not overly alert. That works.
It doesn't seem like they expect trouble. Not yet.
So, as we're passing, Alpin will give them a cordial bow. Just like,
Yeah.
bring 'em in.
Let's see. So there's no risk involved in that particular maneuver. They nod their head to you as they walk by, in appreciation and notice of the gesture.
Yeah. And Albin is definitely set up to appear at least as Montague's guard.
Mhm.
Not that he needs one, as unsubtle as he is.
Excellent.
Well, it's all the more the need. Correct.
All right. So you make your way
That's
to the
true.
salon. This is a salon that is styled in a green color palette. So you see emerald couches, light green patterned wallpaper. You see gold filigree and like gold wood paneling up at the top. And there seems to be space towards the back and a little bit towards the middle where either a musician or in this case a magician might be able to set up. It's still rather early in the party, so no one has come into this room yet. At the moment, you are alone in this salon room, and the servant, after showing you through one of the back doors, has turned around and left. What would you like to do?
Figure out where we
Wonderful.
can stash the goods.
Yes. Let's unpack the trunks and get our gear secured.
All right, so that sounds like y'all want to do a survey action. Now, y'all can do a group action. So a group action is when all of y'all would roll the same action roll. So in this case, survey. And the person who is taking point on the action, one person would take point, would roll, and let me see. And the person who is leading would take 1 stress for each player character whose best result was a 1 to a 3. So you can, the coterie would count the best result overall as the effect for everyone. But if anyone rolls a 1 to a 3, the person taking point would take a point of stress.
So what if we have no ticks in survey?
So you would just roll a 1d6, I believe.
Got it.
And you would not be able to get a critical, even if you rolled a 6.
So I don't suppose I could use study and place a survey for this one, huh?
Spin me a yarn. Or well, a group action would have to be all the same attribute.
Okay. In that case, I will.
Yeah. I
be
have
okay
2
with that.
points of survey.
Yeah,
So
then you...
I think Leslie's taking point on this one.
All right, Leslie, you start to
No one's
scan
wrong.
around. Everyone go ahead and roll me your survey. Is anyone looking to push themselves or take the lady's favor? All right.
Anyone?
Take 2. Well, I'm
Okay.
already going to be taking stress from the bad rolls here, so.
Oh,
You know what? I'll push it just to get that extra die, because I have nothing and I don't want to cause problems.
Yeah, so take 2 stress and get an extra die.
So it's
I'll take
just
a lady's favor if I can.
A lady's favor? So here's a lady's favor. You can have an extra die, but a noble comes into the room meandering.
I'll take that.
Okay, so go ahead and take an extra die, and as y'all are looking around, a noble walks in, idly walking through with a glass of champagne.
So I got a 6.
Right.
Could I distract him in a way, or
Um,
them, or?
Let's resolve this action first, and then
Sweet.
I think you absolutely can. So, Corey, what'd you get on your roll?
I also got a 6.
Excellent.
Only 1 die.
Michael, you got a 1?
Michael got a 5.
Michael got a 5? Excellent. And then, Danielle, what'd you get?
6 and a 3.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to say that I'm not sure if you can have criticals on group actions. I'm going to say you can because y'all rolled multiple 6s and this is our game. So y'all find one of those wooden panels. Leslie, you as you're looking for a closet, you notice a seam in the wall and you go up and push on it, and it's one of those closets where they're disguised specifically as a panel of the wall, so it has like random stuff in it, but you think, judging by the dust, that no one has really investigated this closet that recently or used it. They might have even forgotten about it maybe. So you think this would be a perfect place to store your stuff that you don't think would be disturbed. So you stash as much stuff as you would like. People who are here as discreet, you can count as loaded, with the idea that you had access to grab some of these other items. And there's a noble coming in, and let's see. Aaron, what was your character's name again?
Penelope.
Penelope, what would you like to do with this noble who has wandered in?
So what I'd like to do, and I don't know how to make this work, but
Okay.
what Penelope is going to do is have herself in the center of the room and drop the drab disguise into a paprika and black brocade pannier dress, and just turn to the noble and, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there."
Excellent. Okay, let's see. I think that would be... That sounds like consort to me.
That would be good for me.
Yeah, let's do a consort roll. So roll a consort roll as you do this quick change.
So I got a 6 and a 5.
Nice. That is a full success. So the noble with their glass of wine says, "Oh my, what a disguise! Truly, your outfit and your transformation, it's my
Well,
word."
One cannot come to this house as themselves. That would just be silly, wouldn't it?
Oh no, of course not. You're quite right. Hello, my name is Essence.
Oh, Lady Lark.
Lady Lark, what a pleasure to meet you. Say, do you know what the entertainment in this room is going to be?
Oh, well, of course it's going to be that magnificent Montague, if you could believe it.
I'm sure. And Montague flutters the cloak and does a deep bow.
She goes, "Oh my, hell, it is, the pleasure is all mine." Let's see, Aaron, because you get a sense that this woman might not know who Montague is, but doesn't want to say she doesn't know who Montague is, and so saying, "Oh yes, darling, I've loved your previous shows."
Yes, well,
Oh.
this one will knock your hoop skirt off.
She chuckles and blushes, a very nice move. She says, "Say, I should go gather my friends. They will not want to miss, and surely they will want front row seats."
Oh. No, everyone will want to see the full Monty this evening.
That's funny. Is that why you named yourself Monty?
No, but I have to thank our friend John, because John called it out in the chat earlier, and I totally missed it. I can't believe I didn't think of it first, but so I have to give credit where credit is due.
That is excellent. Okay. Anything else, Penelope?
No, their name is Essence. No last name, so I can't really get a sense of what house they're from. I don't think I have any more actions I can do.
You notice that there is, based on the coloring and the crest that is clasped on one of her shawl that she is wearing, that she is of House Corvetto. So this is one of the oldest of houses, and they are a mysterious, tyrannical, and feared. They are known for plucking arcane strings, of having assassins, and just a lot of shadowy things. So this Essence might be more than who she seems.
Spooky lady.
Briefly, Monty realizes that he's interrupted a conversation between two people and turns to continue setting up.
Your name was brought up.
And Essence turns as if she makes to leave the room.
I don't have much more that's on my mind. Does anyone else have any good ideas?
Not off the top of my head.
She is noted, and I'll keep an eye out.
So she turns and she makes her way out of the room, and the door stays creaked open a little bit. Not creaked, they're well-oiled hinges. The door stays opened a crack or so. So you can hear light chatter coming in from more crowded areas of the room. The party is starting to fill up a little bit. You can hear soft instrumental music coming from the ballroom where people are probably dancing.
During my survey, besides the secret closet, could I see if there's like a servant's back entranceway out of this
With the
room?
with the critical success, you noticed that when you were led into the room, there's one servant's door into this salon, but when you were led in, it was like a hallway that you went into a door. So if you just went back the way you came, there's like a hallway that leads to other doors and other areas of the house. So, as y'all are getting set up, what does your setup look like, Monty?
There's a number of chests kind of scattered around the room. One is open, and there are a few set pieces, or some magical looking items laid against the chest. And there's another to the right, and there's a small table set up in kind of the middle of the alcove with a handkerchief on it and some items underneath. Not an elaborate setup, but certainly one that looks mysterious.
Very nice.
And of course, the handkerchiefs and the scarves and the colorful items make it easy to conceal all of the extra gear that we need to have laying about.
So I need to do a better job of doing this, but asking y'all what your goal is with your actions. So Monty, with setting up this show and doing the show, what is your goal in doing this action?
I believe Monty, I think his goal in this particular setup is to be the focal point so that the rest of the team, the rest of the coterie, can perform what needs to be done. Can find the item, retrieve it, and so that we can cover the escape if necessary.
Gotcha. Okay, so as you are setting up, y'all have a couple minutes, you think, before Essence returns with her own group of friends, and you think there's more likely for people to come through as the party gets louder. You also wonder if this salon already had a scheduled entertainer, that you're not quite sure if they will show up or not. So what would y'all like to do next? And you can split the party if you would like. If that is the path you would like to go, we'll do split scenes.
I'm staying like this as long as I can, possibly take on another persona. So I am going to be heading out as they enter down the servants' hallway and seeing where it might end up.
All right. Is anyone joining Leslie, or are y'all going to be staying in the room with Monty?
I was going to ask Penelope if she wanted to explore and mingle, since at this point I'm assuming Albin has had a chance to switch out their tabard to the right side, which is a nice, pleasant brocade. So.
No, Penelope definitely wants to get out and see people and see where they're going and find angles as to where this vault or room or the thing with the item might be.
All right. Okay, so we're going to start first with Leslie. So Leslie, as you make your way into the hallway, you see it stretch downward. You can see people every now and then coming through, going through different doors. You can see the hallway splits into a couple different hallways. What is your goal, or what would you like to do?
My goal is to kind of scope out, based off the servants' entrance, where people are going to be gathering, where I could listen in, or slip out behind curtains and such.
So, where people might be gathering, like other servants and workers, or people of the noble houses?
Preferably people of the noble houses, but you can always pick up some good gossip from the servants.
All right. Why don't you roll me a survey and we'll see what you pick up.
That is a 6 and a 2.
Excellent. Y'all are rolling like on it tonight.
It's
So
pretty nice.
So you find your way. You after kind of walking casually down a couple of halls, you think that the servants, you notice that a lot of the servants and people who are working the event, they seem to be crowded a lot in the kitchen or around the kitchen or the staging area that leads like from the kitchen to the staging area, then out into the ballroom. You think those might be some of the hotspots for people who are working the event. Whereas you see that there are, as you kind of make your way and you peek your head into the ballroom, you see that the general ballroom is rather full right now, as well as one of the salons off to the side where you hear a soft piano being played underneath the music that is already going on in the ballroom. There seems to be a lot of people in there. And you can gather, with that 6, you know that most of these salons are going to have that servant store. What would you like to do?
Check out the ballroom.
All right, so you make your way into the ballroom. What would you like to do in the ballroom?
I'm going to try to slightly change, stand up a little bit more, but still look different. I am going to work my way over as if I'm bringing food or something out to a table, because I'm sure there's a hors d'oeuvres table.
Yeah, so you manage to, let's say you enter the ballroom through the loading room, so you're able to grab a tray of something. And you make your way through. This could be either a maneuver or a skulk if you're trying to if you're trying to avoid notice.
Good at skulking.
Yeah, so you're moving more carefully, trying to avoid notice, keeping your head down, that type of thing.
Yep, keeping the outskirts of a thing, just trying to blend in. And like I said,
All right. Roll them bones.
Scoping, surveying, just trying to figure out the system first. 5 and a 4.
5 and a 4, so partial success. So the way partial successes work is that you do achieve your goal. There just might be an additional complication depending upon the situation at hand. So with a 5 and a 4, you make your way over to the table relatively unnoticed, and you place down the tray of crudités. What's on the tray?
Well, a moose-bouche, clearly.
Bouches, because y'all are all
broad
snacks.
term.
Next.
So stuffed mushrooms or something.
Stuffed mushrooms, excellent. So you put down this tray of stuffed mushrooms, and you notice. A complication. You, out of the corner of your eye, someone reaching for the petite sandwiches that are right next to the stuffed mushrooms, you see Alaric, who is a mercenary, who you know, and who knows you. And they look to the side, and they kind of do a double take as they see you. And they say, Leslie?
I just slightly nod my head, the slight askew.
Now, what would you say your relationship is like with Alric?
I think we're kind of mutually beneficial. They give me information, I give them information. We help each other out when need be. I wouldn't call us friends so much as we will backstab each other because we're useful to each other.
Gotcha. So, Alric takes in your communication and nods, kind of takes a little tray with him and turns and face out, and kind of out of the side of his mouth says, "Up to some shenanigans, are we?"
When am I not?
He smiles at that and says, "Anything I should know about?"
Yet, still seeing what's up.
Well, you've certainly chosen an auspicious time for such things.
Oh? You've
Well, it's the
heard,
height of the season.
well, of course. All the houses are invited.
This is true. Now, the guards will be pretty focused on the guests and those attending, so I guess I can understand your logic here. Just be careful of the southern corridors.
Take that into advisement.
And with that, we're going to cut over to, Corey, what's your character's name again?
Albin.
Albin and Penelope. Albin and Penelope, y'all make your way into the ballroom. Because if you are looking, you could probably see Leslie making their way with the stuffed mushrooms to the crudité table. You see that there are some people dancing in the center of the room, a small orchestral setup in the far corner, and this room is just beautifully lit. Chandeliers, crystal droppings hanging off of them, sconces along the walls. You see plush couches all against the walls with these fine portraits all along the sides, and you see these doors heading out into other hallways, other salons where people are mingling, going back and forth, some people more stealthily than others. What would you like to do?
Penelope is eating up the be a lady thing. So she has her arm out, she's being escorted, she demands this, and she's just taken in by the lights of the room. She's like, Alden, take me dancing, please.
Sure, it'd be a good way to listen. Bear in mind, if I step on your feet, I do apologize. It's been a while since I've danced.
If I step on yours, I do not.
So, that sounds like a maneuver to me. So why don't we do whoever is leading in the dance, you can take point and the other person can try to assist them, so they'll get to add a dice. Does that sound good?
So what's your maneuver there, Alden?
Albin will probably take the lead on this one because they've got a 2 in maneuver.
Yep, I got a 1.
So your position is controlled, everyone is dancing, so it's a pretty stealthy thing, and you're trying to listen in. So I'm going to say this is going to have great effect, because this is where a lot of people are going to be doing some of the talking, is while they're on the dancing floor. So go ahead and roll your dice.
All right, and I'm rolling 1 die, right?
You just give Alvin another dice to roll.
Oh, okay, great.
6 and a 4 and a 2.
Excellent. So, with a 6, y'all elegantly start dancing. How good are y'all at dancing? Like, how does this look from the outside?
Penelope's kind of new to dancing.
But Albin is making her look great. Because, I mean, dancing and fancy footwork for fighting go hand in hand. So,
as you are weaving across the floor, you're not really staying to a central spot, but more kind of circling and making your way across the dance floor, around the edges, sometimes weaving into the center, and you hear these strings of conversation. You hear someone talking about very handsome guards that they saw guarding the southern corridor. You hear someone talk about how, really, yes, they were quite attractive, but I didn't recognize them from their usual house guard. They're not House Lavelle guards that are guarding them. You hear someone commenting about how one of the main magisters of the Lavelle family, one of the people who are involved in the magic and arcane, has yet to be seen yet, has not made an appearance. You also hear conversations around who hasn't been seen yet. A couple different coteries have not made their appearance yet. You do catch eyes with a couple of folks, as folks say something to the tune of, "Oh, we haven't seen that amuse-bouche. Oh, there they are." And you have avoided a point of court disapproval because you have been seen now by those in the court. And so you are seen and recognized as being in attendance. So you are not slighting the party at hand by evading them entirely.
Yay.
Is there any information you're looking for specifically?
That seems pretty leading. Southern Corridor, handsome guards, missing magic person, probably in Magic South Corridor.
do we hear what house has not made an appearance yet?
So you think that House Almari hasn't appeared yet, but it's not uncommon for them to be fashionably late. You also you think that there is quite an overpresence of House Corvetto, who
Also
you
doesn't
encountered
surprise me.
earlier. Yes. All right, and then we're gonna bounce back to the salon with Monty. Monty, Elegance has returned with a couple other folks who also seem to be of House Corvetto coming into the room. What would you like to do?
Ah, wonderful, wonderful. Always great. Wonderful to have an audience. My name is Montague the Magnificent. I'll be entertaining you in this salon this evening. Please feel free to take a seat, pull up, make yourself comfortable. This will be a very intimate show.
Okay. And what would you like to do? What is your goal, or what skill would you like to use?
All right, so I think for the moment, I'm going to use I don't know if I have any magical skills I want to use yet.
So the magic is pretty flexible in this world,
Yeah.
so we can definitely like kind of co-create
Okay.
it.
Wonderful. Let's see. Well, I think the quickest thing I could do, the easiest thing I could do to start with, would be to maybe try to fascinate this crowd.
Okay.
We'll do a couple of small illusions, small tricks. The old disappearing ball trick from the hand. I'll pull a small trinket from perhaps one of the ears of one of Essence's friends, perhaps Essence themselves, to give them a little bit more of a starring role among their friends in this little show.
Mhm. So, are you doing practical magic or like capital M magic?
So we'll start with practical magic. It's up close street magic. Things that would fascinate but also confound the uneducated.
So, that sounds more like a maneuver, maybe, to me.
Okay,
Doing something
I'm
skillful.
I'm certainly happy to give that a try. I have one die in maneuver.
All right. So then, would you like to push yourself or take the lady's favor?
Oh, I'll take the lady's favor.
Take the lady's favor? Okay, let me see. You will get an extra die with this maneuver
All right.
if the other person who was supposed to entertain in this room shows up.
I say let's go for it.
Hell
Dueling
yeah.
magicians!
Yes, it's a one shot. Let's do it. Okay. Roll 2d6 and then we will figure out what happens next.
All right. I have a 6 and a 1.
That is still a success.
All
so
right.
Very nice. Very nice. So you describe more about your tricks, because you are at the top of your game in this moment. In this moment, you are performing the best magical, physical magic sleight of hands that you've ever done. What do they look like?
From beneath the cloak, there is a small puff of smoke. An actual, not a fake bouquet, but an actual small bouquet of seasonal flowers appears in Monty's hand, and he gives them to Essence. And he'll reach over to another one of the ladies and kind of stroke her cheek, and then hand moves to the ear, and a small silver coin appears in between Monty's finger and thumb, his forefinger and thumb. Ah, miss, you should be much more careful with your coinage. And he'll open her hand carefully and drop it into her palm, and kind of take her hand and give it back to her to give her the coin. And it's a number of tricks like this where it's very engaging with the crowd. Again, it's intimate. It's kind of right in front of them. But these are all parlor tricks. It's not the real magic yet.
And what is your goal with doing these tricks?
the goal is to try to build the crowd. So
Okay,
this crowd that Essence has brought, these people that seem to be, interested in what Montague is offering, what Monty is selling, so to speak. He wants that crowd to increase, to give Leslie and Albin and Penelope more time to kind of work their way around, find out where this thing is, and even retrieve it if possible.
So that works. One of the people in Essence crowd hurriedly runs out of the room and calls into the hallway, calling for their friends to come in. And so the crowd is much larger. The room is really starting to fill up. You have great success with this. And then the servant door opens, and you see a short man in a mustache holding a violin case walk in and say, "Now, everyone, please understand, I put a lot of heart into my voices. I do not put a lot of skill into my voices. So just like general context." This person says, What are you doing here?"
Oh, I am simply getting the crowd warmed up for you. This is, and again, may I ask your name, please?
"What, my name is Roderick."
Roderick, everybody. Please, everyone, give a very warm welcome to our musician, Roderick, who will be performing a brief interlude before the main event starts.
The main event? What? He puts down his instrument. I want to make you do a roll for this to see how Roderick reacts. Whoops, camera, focus
Okay.
back in. Focus back in, camera. There we go. What skill would you say you're doing?
Oh boy.
It seems kind of like you're doing sway.
I feel like this would be sway. I would say sway, or honestly command, probably.
Ooh,
But
either of those.
But as Monty has no pips in command, I'm gonna go with sway.
And you're definitely taking a more convincing, like, trying to persuade someone.
Well, and again, knowing that, like, literally this person walked into this salon through the servants' entrance to a crowd already formed. And as a performer himself, Monty would also know that the pressure at this particular moment is immense.
Yeah, so I would say you're in a risky position because you're in front of a crowd, but with a standard effect, this is a good play. This makes sense considering the circumstances. So go ahead, make that roll. Would you like to push yourself or take a lady's shoulder?
I'm going to push myself.
Hell yeah, take 2 stress and get an extra die.
All right, doing it. Taking 2 stress. Monty has started to sweat a little bit under his emerald cloak. 5 and a 2.
Excellent. So partial success. So he kind of nods his head towards you. And what was your goal with sway?
The goal with sway was to convince Roderick to simply to perform, to basically convince Roderick that I had gathered a crowd for him to start his performance.
So he is convinced, and he breaks out his violin and he starts tuning it, and he kind of like looks over at you, still somewhat suspicious and like worried about being upstaged by some unknown or like some upstart of some sort. So he's going to say kind of tersely, "Thank you. Your job is done then. You may go."
Oh, of course, Roderick. I will return momentarily, and I will give you a chance to perform for this wonderful crowd.
He's getting a little distracted by the crowd, but he if this was a video game, you would see a little line that appears up top that says, "Roderick will remember that."
Wonderful. And Monty will again make a flourish with the cloak and then kind of disappear back behind Roderick.
Okay, so you're staying in the room.
Yeah. Roderick is being moved to the forefront, and Montague is moving behind Roderick, out of Roderick's view. And then once the crowd is enwrapped with Roderick's music, which I'm sure they will be.
It's okay. Or, you know what? Let me do a fortune roll. Let me do a fortune roll to see how good Roderick is. I'll roll 2d6 for Roderick. Ooh, my highest is a 4. So he's He's okay.
Oh, poor Roderick.
The crowd
Hearing-
seems to deflate a little bit.
So, standing behind, what Monty will do is hearing Roderick's mediocre playing. Roderick's going to work a bit of actual magic
Oh.
to give his performance a bit more flourish to the ear, so to speak. So
we're going to cut back to that. We're going to
Okay.
keep that as like a cliffhanger as you start
Okay.
to... What does it look like when you start to weave your magic?
So, behind Montague, again, subtle hand motions. Montague starts to. It looks like he's perhaps mouthing something in kind of the shadow of his cloak, and both of his hands kind of drop to his side and then emerge in front of him. He's got a small, a bit of what looks like maybe some feathers or possibly gold dust, perhaps it's a light material, maybe even just some cotton. And then there's what looks like a few berries and he's smashing the berries between his fingers, and he's kind of swirling the berries around in his palm and sprinkling the gold dust in while he's mumbling something under his breath.
All right. So while that is happening, we cut back over now. Leslie, Alvin, and Penelope. What would make the most sense in this world with your coterie? Would it make sense for y'all to have a sending stone of some sort if we're going to go with like a kind of magical setting? Or do y'all think you have to touch base like in person, like you have to meet up in order to communicate? What would y'all like to do?
Well, we do have our knack on the team, so it does make sense to have something that allows us to communicate without being in physical touch.
Yeah. Especially since it seems like we're used to separating out from each other. Sending stone would probably be for the best.
Yeah, perhaps everyone has a small, smooth, almost like it's like shaped similar to a thumb in a small pocket or pouch, and just simply holding the stone will put you in communication with everyone else in the coterie.
Like one of those
Excellent.
worry stones where it's got that groove for your thumb.
Exactly.
All right. So then the other three of you, y'all are all still in the ballroom in different locations. What would y'all like to do next? What is the next phase of this? You see a couple people, you see a little bit of a crowd moving out towards one of the salons.
Toward the salon we came from, or toward a different salon?
The salon that Monty was in.
Ooh, okay. So Penelope would probably just send a pip just checking in on Monty. Is everything going all right in there?
And there is, like, you hear, coming back from the stone, there is some mumbling, but Monty doesn't answer. But you recognize that the mumbling means that he's doing something.
Excellent.
You might not recognize the words, but you recognize that it's some kind of incantation.
It's magic.
Well, he's drawing the crowd in some sort of way. We've heard handsome guards in the southern corridor, Leslie.
Yeah, I have had warning to avoid the southern corridor.
Well,
Maybe
where
listen to
would we be if we
warnings.
avoided things?
Of course. Well, maybe avoid is the wrong word. Just be careful. To be fair.
Would you like to do a little subtle investigation for us?
I suppose I can. Is there anything of concern about these guards you have heard?
Oh, we've
besides-
heard they're handsome. Or attractive. I believe the term was attractive.
It's attractive. Not the typical house level guards.
Now that is concerning. Because I have seen someone who should not be here tonight as well.
Oh?
My acquaintances.
Ah.
You would all know.
Always fun to have a few of your acquaintances around.
Oh, this night keeps getting interesting. Shall I make it a little bit more so?
As always.
So they have brought in extra guards as protection protection. We had heard that rumor.
Have you also seen their knack roaming around? No one seems to have seen him yet out at the ballroom.
I. That is extra concerning. So I think my next move is to go and continue toward the southern corridor as servant, possibly bring refreshments or something.
All right,
That's
and
not
then
a bad idea.
yeah, then what are Alvin and Penelope? What are y'all going to do? Are you all going to go with? Are you going to go hang out in a different area? What is the plan?
Do you think we could go and distract the guards that are over there, possibly?
You could give it a shot.
Sure.
Trying to think of what drama I could do to incite the guards. Alvin! Protect my honor!
All right.
So,
Done!
That's a cue. That's a cue if I've ever heard one.
so are you going to go towards the southern corridor to try and distract those guards, or like, okay? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think the idea is to distract those guards and then start going in another direction to maybe encourage them to follow, since then they won't be in the area. That's the idea. The execution will be the real tell.
yeah. So you make your way down. You're not going through the servants' hallway. You know that Leslie is going through the servants' hallway towards the southern corridor. You're going kind of towards the main entrance of the southern corridors. And no one tried to map out this house, by the way. It just exists. We're theater of the mind. Theater.
I mean, it's also a house level house. It could change at any moment.
Exactly. It's full of secrets. It's full of hallways and secrets.
The south
And,
corridor is now the north corridor. Who cares?
Exactly. So as you make your way, you see a door that is leading to the rest of the southern corridors, and you see two guards stationed in front. They are not wearing House Lavelle colors. And you might think they're attractive. It's up to you whether you think they're attractive or not. I won't make that decision for you. And this is the site where y'all will pull off your little thing. So describe to me what action you're using and what this looks like.
What it looks like is easier than the action.
Maybe start with what it looks like and then we'll figure out what you're using.
I think in theory it's going to be sway. Lady Lark is just now crying and distraught and fanning herself, trying to calm down because obviously something horrible has happened to her.
All right, and then Alvin, what are you going to be doing?
You know what? I'm going to be looking around like I'm trying to find somebody while still protecting Penelope. Protecting, quote unquote. And if I see the guards at the corner of my eye, I'm going to be like, did you not see him? Can you go after him?
Excellent. Okay, so that sounds like a command from you, Corey, and a sway from you, Aaron.
And I'm going to take 2 stress to get an extra die on.
Fair enough. Corey, would you like to take stress or do a lady's favor?
I am also going to take 2 stress for the moment.
Fair enough. Go ahead and mark that down and then continue on forward.
I have no command, so I need the extra boost.
So I ended up with a 5 and a 4.
All right. So that's a partial success.
3 and a 4.
That is, with the 4 is the highest, so that is a partial success. I would say that this is a risky maneuver for standard effect. And so it says you are going to succeed, but there's going to be a complication or something is going to go wrong. So I'm going to say that as you start crying and carrying about Penelope, the guards are startled, and they turn to you, and they hear you, Alvin, make the command, and they're kind of disjointed by the combination of both of you. So one of them rushes down the hallway where you were pointing, Alvin, and the other one goes up to you both, to Alvin and Penelope, leaving the door currently unwatched. However, I am going to say that the security alertness is going to increase by 2 ticks, that there's now a shout has gone up. These guards are these seem like different kinds of guards.
Got it.
All right, so the security alertness clock is at 4 out of 8. And know that if through successful rolls and things, like if you think of ways to calm the guards down or to otherwise avoid suspicion, you can then lower the clock. All right, so Penelope and Alvin, let the performance begin. So Penelope?
And he was wearing a purple velvet vest and green pantaloons, which are so garish. He should be easy to spot. I don't understand why you haven't taken care of him already.
Ma'am, please, calm.
Lovely. Absolutely
She is
lovely.
just over distraught.
Uh,
That being said,
Mhm.
Albin is doing like that polite professionalism. They're used to this sort of like something happened, maybe a little overblown, but still taking it seriously kind of reaction.
Yeah, the guard that came up to y'all is kind of looking at you, Alvin, for like some sort of cue of like.
I'm pulling up the thing. I'm not going to say what I'm saying just yet because I have to find the thing I'm looking for, but I am going to kind of casually mention that it was possibly a House Almari or somebody attempting to look like a House Almari
Ooh.
person, because that's the one we haven't seen yet.
Ooh.
So Almari is skulking about somewhere.
Ooh.
So,
Okay.
there is my location.
Let's see.
Here it is.
Yeah. So what would you like to roll for this?
Ooh.
You can get assistance from Penelope.
cries more.
This is a strange way of using consort, but kind of leaning into that sort of guard to guard thing. But I'd like to use
like it.
consort, so at least I have a die on that.
I like that a lot.
Roll them
So, yeah.
bones.
Penelope is just continuing to cry and House Amari, but a hand up my skirt? Never!
Ooh, raising the drama. Yeah. You get an extra die.
Awesome. So I'm up to 2 correct.
Unless you want to take a lady's favor or push yourself.
I'm gonna take it as it is. It's a 5.
5, partial success. So they so I'm going to say that the guards, you see the guards start speaking into a sending stone of their own and say, there's been an incident by a House Almari. They were wearing garish clothes. Possibly House Almari. So this guard is or what was your goal in doing that consort? What was your goal?
Primarily throwing suspicion aside from our little coterie. Like, not necessarily 100% blaming Almari. I'm leaving enough wiggle room that, like, if House Almari comes to call in actuality, it's like, oh, they must have been imitating one of your men, sort of scenario. But it's primarily keep attention on us while throwing more attention onto an absent house that is currently not in attendance.
So you can see
we are aware of.
So you can see the consequence of this is that there is now more guard presence in the ballroom and the hallways in like the general area. There are more guards because an incident has been said. There's a screaming, crying lady, like, and they have definitely now seen your faces, these guards. So
But
Not
are
like
the
Alban
guards
can
being
hide.
drawn from other places?
You would think so.
Ooh.
All right, and then we're gonna pop back to Leslie. Leslie, you hear some commotion and crying and something about possibly an Almari house, and there's garish clothing involved, so you know things are really taken to the next level here. What would you like to do?
See what the guards are wearing, especially the new guards.
The new guards, so they are wearing nondescript clothing, so not the colors of House Lavelle, but not the colors necessarily of any other house. It seems almost like they are not declaring their allegiance publicly for some reason. Now, if you wanted to try and gather more information from them, or like pickpocket them, or check something else, like there are a couple different ways you could go about trying to learn more about these guards.
Did I see a bunch of them leave this situation?
So the ones in front of the door have left. One of them is talking with Penelope and Alvin, and another one has kind of like charged off into the mists, into the crowds. And from peeking out from the servant's door, you can see that the door into the southern hallway is at the moment unguarded. Their backs are to you.
Well, my character's loads is the ability to basically switch a disguise. And people will not, only somebody who knows me well will recognize. So
Okay.
I want to take on the appearance of one of those guards as if I was called back to guard.
I like that. So why don't you go ahead and mark off a load for subterfuge supplies? So that is one subterfuge point, like using those supplies for that purpose. And then you, thankfully, the guards' outfits are pretty, like, they're nondescript, so they are pretty basic. Your clothes are not exactly like theirs, but enough that a casual eye would just kind of be like, yeah, they're guards wearing black. Like, black and gray. Those are the
Able to
colors.
grab something from somewhere, a clothes closet or something, to pull the costume
You know,
together.
if you mark off...
the Bird Squad.
Right? If you mark off another load, I'll say that you were able to grab an extra cloak from somewhere. That's like of the guard's clothes. If you give up another load.
Still have that other backup load, so I will.
All right, so you have used 2 load now, and so you have, even if your clothes underneath aren't exactly like them, you have actually one of their cloaks. Someone, let's say Kyle, left his cloak somewhere. Kyle, what are you doing?
Kyle.
It's too warm for this cloak.
It's too warm. So you have this cloak now. What would you like to do?
I'll make my way to the southern corridor.
Hell yeah. So you open up the door and you slide inside and shut the door behind you. How would you like to proceed through the southern corridor?
I am skilled in looking like I'm where I belong, so I am literally just going to walk as if I belong I'm doing my patrol.
Awesome. So, as you are walking through the hallways, you see several guards pass you by. I'm not sure if I want... I think would it be fair to make you do a skulk roll? Would that be fair?
Thanks. Only just because nobody's going to don't recognize me, but they might not might be wondering why there's a third person.
Yeah. So why don't you make that roll, and then we'll see how that goes.
That was good. A 6 and a 3.
Perfect. So they as the guards pass by, they nod as they walk by you. No one seems to take a second glance as you make your way through. And let's see.
As I'm going through, I am trying to keep my eye out for other servant entrances and stuff so I can slip away if need be.
Gotcha. I am going to say for the hullabaloo raised by Penelope and Alvin, I am going to add a tick of court disapproval. Just because that seems like something that the court...
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
I wouldn't be surprised if Penelope usually causes some sort of hullabaloo.
And perhaps that's the disapproval. The court's like, oh, it's her again.
It's Penelope.
Yeah. All right. So you see that there are several, as you make your way down, you notice that there are doors, but a lot of them are locked. And so what would be servant doors leading off are like locked for some reason. So you can try and unlock them or navigate with them or do something, but the hallway kind of continues forward unobstructed.
Is it basically a straight sight, like if somebody's at one end, they're going to see me at the other end?
It's a straight shot until you hit a curve that goes right. Or a turn, I guess, not a curve.
If I'm around a curve, then I will want to try to open one of those servants' doors for an escape route.
All right, go ahead, and that kind of sounds... What skill would you like to use for that? And remember, if you have 0 dots in it, you just roll 1 dice, and you cannot get a critical in it.
That would be actually breaking something, I'm assuming. Actually, the only thing I can figure, which is not good for me, would be Tinker.
Tinker? I mean...
I can't think of anything else that...
Kind of looks like lockpicking, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a d6 and see what happens. Unless you want to push yourself or take a lady's favor.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I've only used one of my load because I've already said I have a blade.
Mhm.
But I did go in pretty fully loaded.
Mhm.
Can I mark off one of my load to have passed my burglary tools to Leslie before we went in?
Yeah, we could do a flashback of that. So let's say before... tell me, when did you pass it off? What does this flashback look like, where you somehow anticipated that Leslie might need some burglary tools?
Getting ready to head in, probably going over a checklist of things that we need and get like that. Realizing somebody forgot their burglary tools. Leslie, you're the one going to be skulking about most often. Take mine. We'll sort it out later. So, that sort of situation of like, really? The one thing that you forgot is your best tools.
It might be there. I don't know. It's lost in the pile.
It's in the other cloak.
Excellent. Can do.
Somebody took too long to decide what they were going to wear.
It had to be the right colors. The effect wouldn't have been there.
Very pretty colors.
So, that seems like I'll give that a 0 cost flashback, just a small conversation that y'all had. So go ahead and mark off a load, Alvin, and you have some burglary tools. So I think that should give you, like, I would say that's more or less the equivalent of an assist. So why don't you roll 2d6? Because you have burglary tools.
5 and a 2.
Partial success. So you manage to open the lock. You get the door open. However, you
I don't
end up,
like it when Stevie giggles.
you end up, like, breaking one of the tools in the burglary kit. You think it would take some more tinkering or like bending to try to get it to fix it in order to use it again. For right now, it is out of commission. But you did get the door open. And as the door opens, how do you enter?
Not actually ready to enter yet. I just
Okay.
wanted to make an escape route.
Okay, so it clicks open and the door stays closed?
I just want that one to stay unlocked.
Perfect. All right, then we're going to bounce back to Monty. Monty, what's the result? Tell me about this magic you're doing, Monty.
So the magic that Monty's performing is like some old. It's ancient magic. It's not the same as the channeling that he normally would do. This is almost like ritual magic, learned from a grandmother, perhaps. And this is this magic is going to cause the crowd to be enamored by the mediocre playing of our musician friend. It's going to make the music sound as though there's a partial orchestra behind him, augmenting his sound and covering for the fact that perhaps one or two of the strings on the violin is slightly out of tune.
Excellent. I would say that is a risky maneuver with great effect. So go ahead and roll channeling.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens. Would you like to push yourself or take the lady's favor?
You know what? I will push myself. That'll give me 2 more stress.
Yep, that'll give you 2 stress, but you get an extra die.
Okay. 3 5s.
3 5s? Excellent. Okay, so. Ooh, okay, so here's what happens. You weave your spell, and you describe a little bit about what it looks like. What does it look when the spell goes off? What does it look like when the spell releases from you?
When the magic releases, when it comes into existence, it's almost as like from behind the magician, this like multicolored mist kind of spreads out from behind his shoulders and kind of just floats over the crowd gently. And as the mist falls, that's when that orchestra sound kind of picks up, and it's almost imperceptible at first, and then you hear it, and it's almost like it was always there. Like you just never noticed it.
So, as you reach out with your magic and cast this spell, you feel like a ping in the corner of your consciousness. You feel almost like someone has hit a tuning fork farther into the house. And it is distracting in how insistent it is. You haven't quite felt this kind of magic before. You don't know what it is or what's going on, but you can tell it is deeper in the house, maybe even in the direction of the southern corridors. And it's almost as if it is an alien impact. Like you have not felt this kind of thing before. It's like someone putting a nail on a chalkboard. So your spell is going to work. It's going to last only half as long as you intended because you are distracted by this other magical signature that is going off.
Okay.
And what's more, as your attention turns to this tuning fork of a sound, you hear it start to vibrate faster, as if it's noticed you as well. And that is where we're going to take our break before we hop back into it. So we're going to take a quick 10-minute break, and then we will be back. So
Wonderful.
Hang around. We'll see y'all soon. Hello, welcome back, everyone in Twitchland. Welcome. We are playing Court of Blades, a Forged in the Dark game. I just dropped the link into the chat if you would like to check it out and support these incredible creators. But where we last left our coterie, the Amouche Bouche, where we last left them, we had Leslie just finishing unlocking a door after sacrificing some lockpicking tools. We had Penelope and Alvin in the middle of a drama, of a flare-up of attention that called across quite a few of these mysterious guards, and we had Monty in the salon performing a fit of magic and finding something unexpected with that magic as well. Oh no, it's not going through. My apologies. If someone else can post that, that would be incredible.
We'll have to.
But we will start back with, we left off with Monty. So Monty, you felt that presence, that alien presence. You felt that moment of recognition. What would you like to do next? You see this crowd is enraptured with the violinists. A lot of their attention is off you.
So Monty did not have a spell length in mind for this. But the distraction has made him, painfully aware that it won't last very long. He'll reach into like his vest pocket and thumb his stone. I've received some kind of ping from something I don't recognize. And Stevie, from what I can tell, does it seem to be coming in the direction of maybe where the southern corridors are?
Seems like it.
All right. The ping that I'm getting seems to be coming from the direction of perhaps the south?
Do you recognize
Southern area. I do not. I've never felt anything like this before. It may be the artifact we've been asked to bring.
Leslie, did you get that?
Does it feel abnormal, or
quite
like another of your profession?
No. This is not one of the other second or third rate magicians from the other coteries. This is not another knack. This is clearly something outside of our realm. It's completely alien to me, at the very least.
Considering I'm a resident knack, that does not make me feel at ease.
Oh, absolutely not, but now I must know.
Yeah.
Again, I believe it's to the south. A magician came into the salon where we were set up. So I'm doing what I can to make the magician, the focal point. But again, trying to draw people here. But again, if the south may be where you'd want to investigate closer.
I am already investigating, but I will
Wonderful.
keep my eyes open.
Yes, Leslie, please do.
Well, since I'm a little less distracted than Monty would be, is it possible to use my channel to actively look for it? This strange ping that he picked up on.
Yeah, absolutely.
To assist with that, Stevie, is it possible? Can Monty use some of his ability, some of his power, to kind of echo the ping through the stone?
So, I think you would have to be closer to Alvin in order to assist with this. In order for, I don't think the sending stone would quite work that way.
Okay.
But I think if you'd want to leave the salon and go to where Alvin is, you probably could assist then.
Monty, realizing that he's out of range to do what he's looking to do, will kind of look at the crowd. The crowd still seems to be enraptured, and he will briefly bow out of the servants' door to the salon and try to move toward where Albin is.
All right. And Alvin, you see the colorful form of Monty making their way towards you.
Okay.
So are y'all gonna do this in the hallway because we still have Penelope kind of fanning oneself and
Yeah, are we
panicking.
still dealing with these guards, or have they moved off to find my assaulter?
Assailant.
Let's see. What do you think? How would you like to handle the guards?
Penelope is just trying to get them to move off, move off of this hallway and find someone who would have assaulted a lady's honor.
Yeah, I think considering the past successes, I think they do that. So
Awesome.
you do see them reach and talk to what seems to be the equivalent of a sending stone of them, saying, "We need someone at the gate. We're en route. We're in investigation." So you think there might be some other guards coming soon, but at the
Well, we have
moment,
a couple of minutes or so.
Mhm.
Is there? This is gonna sound very strange. Is
Do
there
it.
like a little lover's niche in the area?
let me
Some
see.
discreet place.
Is there a corner?
So fortune is on your side. There does, in fact, seem to be a little nook.
I'm going to gently lead Penelope over there. I give a hand signal to Montague if he can see it, or I just tell him we're out with the sending stone. And wait for Monty.
All
For a
right.
brief moment.
Monty, you see your friends waiting for you in this little nook. You don't see any guards. You, in fact, pass some guards as they are like rushing by you.
Monty will, as the guards are rushing by, Monty will kind of like lower his head and like move in a way to try and be as inconspicuous as someone as colorful as him can.
Yeah, they seem to be focused on other things.
Very good.
You're luckily not wearing purple, so they don't pay
Green
attention.
cloak, not green trousers.
Yeah.
Green trousers are so gauche.
True.
So out of fashion.
So last season, I mean, so Albin, go ahead and make a channeling roll. Add a dice as Monty is assisting you.
Monty will, and you're familiar with this. This has happened before. Monty will just kind of reach up and put his two fingers like on your temple, and like he puts his head down to focus.
Yeah.
And then what does it look like when you're channeling Albin?
Albin's channeling is probably far less flashy than Montague's is. Albin's only got a 1 in channeling. But they use it primarily for detection or even just like that little extra edge in a fight, just to kind of like a little extra sidestep, maybe. It's very, if there's a color associated with it, it's very pale gold sort of color. And I am going to take a lady's favor for this one.
All right. So you can take an extra dice if there is an additional question for Leslie. If there's an additional question from a guard for Leslie.
Are you okay with that?
Not good at talking my way out of things.
You also have your friends right on the other side of the door.
Yeah, we're around.
Okay. We'll
Well,
see
I
where
mean,
this goes.
so we don't have to. If you're not comfortable with it, we're not trying to talk you into it.
Yeah.
We'll see where this goes.
I'll just take the 2 die. I can always
Okay.
get double 6s.
There we go. All right, give it a shot.
Nope, that's a 4 and a 3.
All right. So remind me what your goal with this channeling was again.
Just to maybe pinpoint or get a better feel for what this thing is. This ping that Montague picked up on.
And Monty
Yep.
was trying to kind of share the through his assistance, trying to give the location, like a better location as to where the ping came from, because he can't really describe it.
Yeah.
But he thought maybe he could like show Albin in mind, perhaps, like where the ping came from.
So you, with the gentle nudging of Montague in your brain, you let your senses scope out this light golden magic kind of spread out, and you too feel this ping, this tuning fork that you've never heard before, that you've never quite seen or felt anything like it. And you hear a reverberation from it, an echo back from it of your ping. Monty, if you're also like plugged into this channel, Monty, it sounds louder than when it did for you.
I think Monty would also like to use Open Mind
Ooh, what does that do?
as a special ability. You are always aware when the supernatural enters your vicinity or when arcane power is building. Take +1d on your next action roll when acting on this knowledge.
Ooh, okay, so keep that in mind for your next action roll
Yes.
for working on that.
Yes.
Because this definitely applies. And I will say, Alvin,
I apologize. I should have taken it. I just read it. I should have taken it before I tried to share.
You're good. You're assisting, so it would apply to the next one. Albin, you also get the sense that it is further down the southern corridor to the right, but you also get a sense of depth. Like this thing is far below ground.
Alright. That's concerning, and I pass that information on. At this point, Montague, I think your show might be interrupted. We might need to get down there.
I'll return to the show. Don't worry about the show. You try to find this thing.
Alright. Keep us posted.
Indeed, and with a flourish, Monty's like,
As you just walk away.
and we'll, yes, just literally does this and turns and then just.
As a magician do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Match.
A stray pigeon like kind of flies out of the cloak.
Yes.
All right. So
We have
Another one,
so-called
Monty.
Monty practicing that.
yep.
I lose so many birds this way.
Leslie, Alvin, and Penelope, are y'all joining up or are y'all staying split?
I think at this point, at least Albin wants to join back up, just because at this point, this is not something he recognizes, or they recognize.
Mhm.
Now, Penelope as well, purely out of curiosity and getting the MacGuffin and getting either out or moved on to something else.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think at this point, I tried to slip through the door with Penelope.
Yep. And you both do so, and you see the disguised, Leslie there. Leslie, what do you do with the broken tools? Do you maybe hide those, or?
We're already back in the pouch.
Hammer space.
Fine, they're fine. All right, and so the hallway goes down, and then goes on a right corner, and no one has looked around the corner yet.
Well, the door I did was just around the corner.
Oh, okay. So then, you can see it goes down and takes another turn, and you hear like shifting of someone in armor.
Going to put myself to the front.
Okay.
I think this would actually be the good time for me to slip into that servant's door, and since I know they're in the hallway, try to make my way to them via the hallway, because I'm now on the side that can unlock.
Yeah, so as you make your way in the door, and you see these servant quarters are very, like, they're not lit. Like, it's dark back here. It looks like, excuse me, they haven't been used in quite a while. So seeing is going to be an issue, but if you feel your way along or make your way, you make your way to where you think the guards might be, and you see there is a door that leads back to that same hallway where the guards are, and there are doors that also lead further away from where it is, but trying to get to like almost behind where the guards are, there's just a wall.
There is a door right now between the guards and Penelope and Alvin, right?
So the hallway itself is open. So like if Alvin and Penelope make a lot of noise, the guards will hear. And you just kind of took a shortcut where you went in a door and down a hallway, and then there's another door by where the guards are. So you could probably get the jump on them if you wanted to.
But we don't
up
quite
to you.
want them to know we're here yet, so.
No.
I mean, Penelope's goal is just to get deeper into this maze and figure out what's there.
My goal of the servants things was to get the rest of my crew out of the main site.
Yeah. If Leslie did that and either tugged or indicated, we'd follow him.
So if all of you are in the servants' hall, you're in this dark room. The place, the doorway that the guards are guarding, it seems to go beyond where the servants' corridors go. So you would either have to try and go out and go further away to try and find like a way around, or maybe a different entrance, or you can go out the door that is closer to the guards, and you would be walking directly into their vision, possibly surprising them.
From where we are, can we hear any discussion from the girls?
If you wait significantly long enough, you hear a little bit of muttering. You hear one guard go, "I spy with my little eye something gray." Is it a brick again? Yeah. Stop choosing brick. You are terrible at this game.
I'm glad they're so engaged.
Yes, they are. And then they start heatedly talking about the rules and merits of I Spy as a game.
But which brick?
Yeah, that card does get played. So,
Well, so
what would y'all like to do?
quietly to Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can get them to move off if we offer ourselves up as the replacements. Think it'll work.
You definitely look eager to leave. However, how well do you think you two can take on a role?
Oh, I'm going to stay behind this door. You two are going to pretend to be guards.
I think it's best if we leave Penelope behind the door. We'll let her out.
He's
So-
always good for a distraction.
Yeah.
And remember,
Once
you can use your equipment. You can use the loads that you got.
Once again, Alwyn's tabard goes from brocade to broadcloth. Because it's just a plain black broadcloth.
It's a masterful flip.
And I'm assuming I can make little touches to make you look a little more like the rest of the guards.
Yeah. If there's... You know what? Alvin will have... nothing on the sheet that would actually apply here.
You have subterfuge supplies.
I do have subterfuge. I will take a load of subterfuge supplies. So I'll have like a nondescript cotton headcloth that I can hide my hair in.
Gotcha. All right. So, how do you all approach the guards? Do you come out through the side door, or do you come out through the main hallway?
Say we
Ma-
backtrack to around the corner again, and then kind of just walks directly toward them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, are you good at bluffing? Because that's not my strength.
I can consort. And I'm gonna lean on my background, like military background here, a little
Command?
bit.
Okay.
I do
So-
have a point in command.
Okay, then I'm gonna let you take lead on this one. I'm just
You
gonna
don't-
look like I back you up. I'm gonna give you a couple of pointers on how to stand before we walk in, and then let you take lead.
I feel
You got
like
this,
I
Leslie.
leave the blind.
You're
All
better
right.
at command than I am.
So you turn the corner and you see the two guards. They immediately snap more to attention and turn their eyes to you, and they start to say halt, but then they pause because they see how y'all are dressed, and they kind of relax a little bit. They go, "Oh, what's going on?"
We have been sent as your relief.
Oh, let's see. So this is going to be risky position, standard effect. Go ahead and make a command roll, Corey. Albin. Are you doing anything to assist?
Albin, yeah, kind of going to look imposing and as militaristic. I'm also going to toss in. We're not so good at the investigation thing, and there's been a little bit of apparently an assault upstairs. You're better at it than we are. Kind of add that little detail.
All right, roll two dice. Would you like to push yourself or take a lady's favor?
Push myself at this point.
All right, do it. You try and bring up the most commanding presence you can to order these guards that we are your relief.
Okay. Oh, luckily that's at least 1 6, a 5, and a 3.
5 and a 3. Okay, so partial success. So
there was a 6 in there.
Oh, there's a 6. Oh, excellent. So full success. So
I got that extra die.
So with the relief, you see like some relief on one of the guards' face, perhaps the guard that was complaining the most about I Spy. They both kind of like relax their stance a little bit, and they say, "Oh, thank goodness! I didn't think that we were going to get a relief, but this is great news. Yeah, we'll help investigate something. There's always something going on with the nobles. I mean, we're not technically supposed to intervene, but if the boss says so." And they start making their way by. They give you all a hand gesture, and you know it to be the hand gesture of those who are in the employ of House Corvetto.
All right.
Do you give the gesture back?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know it.
So you do so, and they continue making their way. Now there is a door in front of you that is unguarded. What would you like to do?
Once they are out of sight and hopefully out of earshot, rap on the servants panel and say, "We gotta move."
All right.
That
And
won't last long.
as you open the door, this is a significantly heavier door. There are like two bars that you gotta like remove from it, and as you open it up, you feel this burst of like cold, chill air against your face as you see stairs leading downwards, down and down into darkness. You see every now and then a torch along the wall, but it is significantly less well lit, and it seems to go down deep to below where the manor is located. Monty, anything I need to know about what you're doing, Monty, or do you want to join back up, or like what is the dealio?
Monty's going back to the salon to see how his musician friend is faring now that the spell is likely wearing off.
Mm-hmm. So as you get there, the spell is in fact worn off. You can see, like, you can feel the effects of the spell kind of starting to fizzle, and you can see people start snapping their fans a little bit. They start whispering to each other a little bit. They're not paying as much attention. A couple folks start trickling out the back, seemingly to go find other entertainment. You do hear one or two folks come in, and the word is spreading that there is something that happened apparently from someone who was of House Almari, did something untoward towards someone. So that is the latest hot goss that is also starting to spread some rumors.
Coming in and seeing the crowd dying off, Monty's going to pull out a small bit of string, like piano wire. Oh, string. We'll do string.
Okay.
String it between two fingers, and he's looking at the violin. He's just going to peek at the violin and then flick the string twice. And I'd like to channel that two of the violin strings break.
Okay. So, I don't think you would have plus 1d because you're not using the information that you have,
No,
right?
not yet. No, this is not the open mind. No,
Gotcha.
this is just a straight channel roll to affect the musician's instrument.
So I'm going to say this is, again, risky. Every time you
Okay.
channel, there's a little bit of risk for standard effect. So go ahead. Would you like to push yourself or take a lady's favor?
If I could ask Stevie, I'm at 4 stress right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have 9 stress total.
Mm-hmm.
How are the stress directly impacting me? Because I don't recall.
Yeah, so if you hit full stress, then you are struck by a scandal of some sort. Something
Okay.
happens, and you have to retire from the errand unless there
Okay.
is some way to like recover that stress, which you
Okay.
can do by successfully resisting stress. But so far, y'all have only taken stress through like fortune rolls and things like that.
Okay. I have some stress to spare. I think I will take 2 stress. I will push for this.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead and roll that die.
All right. So that'll give me 3, correct?
Yes.
2 for my channel and then 1 for the push.
Yes.
Okay. That's better. I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 6.
There we go. Okay, so with a 6, your spell goes off without a hitch. You still feel that alien presence in the corner of your mind, and every time you channel, every time you send out energy, you feel that energy pinging back, almost like a radar.
Okay.
So, but tell me about the spell. Tell me how this goes down.
So again, our musician friend is playing. Pardon me. Monty's already forgotten his name.
Uh,
Um,
Rykard?
Something R.
Roderick.
Richard or Robert or
Ritter?
Yeah. So did everybody else.
yeah.
Roderick. I thought that was his name.
I think it was Roderick.
It is Roderick.
Yes, Roderick.
So to be fair, the player had also forgotten, but I figured Monty would also have forgotten because again, who is this person? So Roderick is already losing the crowd. As a performer, I'm sure Roderick realizes that Roderick's losing the crowd, and then out of nowhere, he pulls the bow across the violin, and 2 of the strings, literally in sequence, boom, boom, like. And I would like to say, as an effect, there is a chuckle from the crowd, and there's some light applause.
And there is. It's somewhat sarcastic. It's kind of some of that cutting thing. You see a blush rising on Roderick's cheeks. He seems kind of embarrassed.
And that's when Monty will step into action.
Okay.
And like kind of step in front of Roderick, and again a flourish of the cloak. Again, our wonderful Roderick. Thank you so much, Roderick, for your entertainment and your time today. It seems as though your violin has decided to take a small break. So I will step in and assist and certainly entertain these fine people while you attend to your broken instrument.
So Roderick kind of nods stiffly, and he steps out through the servant corridor with his case. So, like, stepping out of view of folks and into the hallway. What would you like to do?
After that wonderful, wonderful musical interlude, which I confess could have been a bit more interesting, a more colorful. Yes, let's up the little bit of color that we have here. Let's make things a little more interesting, shall we? And and again with there's a flourish of the cloak, and reaching behind his back through the cloak, Montague will pull out a small wand. It's like a telescoping wand.
Okay.
It's made of brass. There is some slight bit of finery to it, but on closer inspection, it also looks like it could be relatively cheap. But at this distance, they'll never see. He telescopes a wand out of his palm.
Mm-hmm.
Madame, and he'll lightly point the wand, like with a bow, toward one of the ladies in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Madame, what, might I ask, is your favorite animal?
You see this diminutive woman who's wearing a pink ensemble with some lace and just very, very delicate fan. And she goes, a dire bear.
a a dire bear. Ha 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 ha. Ho ho. Well, Madame, you certainly have peculiar tastes. But how would you like to have a dire bear that you could put in your pocket?
She spreads her fan and she leans back. She goes, "Why, that would be most wonderful."
Madame, please step forward. And he'll put his other hand out and kind of lead her up into the raised area of the parlor.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if you could please, cover your eyes with the fan and leave this one palm out for me, outspread, if you don't mind.
She does so.
Montague will place his hand over her palm, and he waves the wand in the air, making a big show with that hand of the hand motions and the movements he's making with the wand, and then again speaking some what would sound like nonsense under his breath, but certainly is some magical incantation. He is going to use his fascinate skill.
Mm-hmm.
To try again recommand the crowd's attention. It gives the coterie 1 die to any action that they take while I've gotten all the attention drawn back to me.
Ooh.
And with his magic, he's going to draw on the magic to actually form out of some cotton, and again we'll do cotton, gold dust, and a bit of ether. We'll just call it ether.
Mm-hmm.
A small dire bear starts forming in the palm of this woman's hand, almost like a statuette.
All right, so the rest of the coterie.
And again, this is just like, and there's around the wand there is some arcane energy gathering. It's a little bit sparkling. There's a small light show, almost like a Northern Lights type of vibe to the room right now. The lighting darkens, the torches grow a little dim. The candles grow dim, this energy lights up, and all eyes are drawn to the salon.
So, go ahead and make me a channel roll. The rest of the party, rest of the coterie, y'all have a +1 die to your next action because word quickly spreads about this incredible magic show that's going on in between Roderick the Wonderful's violin sonatas.
Name's getting longer and longer.
Yep.
That is a 3 and a 6.
So, with the 6, part of me was really hoping you'd get a 1 to a 3 on this one because, boy howdy, there would be some fun I could have with a misguided dire bear spell.
Well, what benefit would I get if I let this fail?
Ooh, well, so you can certainly choose one of the other numbers if you would like, and if it would fail, you think that you feel almost the constraints of the spell that's kind of keeping it wrapped and summoned in a small package. You feel like if you just let the bounds break, there might be an actual dire bear in the room.
It would make for a fantastic distraction.
Montague will.
Not our part house, though.
You're getting some Penelope energy of cause the chaos.
No, it's okay. Monty, knowing that the reason he's doing this is to again cause distraction, lets his wand, the motions of the wand, start to get a little bit more wide and a little bit more chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
And the hand starts to raise, Montague's hand starts to raise off of the young woman's hand. And you can start to see this ethereal form of a dire bear starts to grow from her palm.
Excellent.
And you can see that her palm, it starts to actually weigh on her palm to the point where she moves the fan and pulls her hand away. And moments later, there is a crash as the small table that her hand was standing over is crushed underneath the weight of a juvenile dire bear.
Nice. So
we'll call that a 2. we'll say that I rolled double twos. And what do I get for that? What's the benefit to me for allowing that to fail,
So
Stevie?
for allowing it to fail, I'm going to say erase one stress. Relieve one
Woo!
stress.
I will take it.
I am going to say the guard security alertness is going to go up by 2.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because there's a bear?
There is now a dire bear.
There's a dire bear. And just for fun, for color, the dire bear is like a teal blue
Nice.
with a yellow stripe yellow stripes running down from the top of its head down its back to its tail.
Yeah, and there is quite a bit of sudden screaming. People are leaving the room. Someone reaches up and grabs the woman who seems to be entranced by the appearance of the dire bear.
Everyone, no, it's fine. Baloo will not cause any harm at all. Baloo is fine.
Baloo seems rather agitated, and people start fleeing the room. You hear someone calling for guards. There seems, from the speaking stone, y'all hear a...
Oh, he's gone with the bear thing again.
We really need to tell him to mute before he does that.
Can you do you want to cut from me, or do you want me to continue with the bear?
Let's cut from you for a moment to see how the crew responds, and then we're going to come back, because that is an active situation. Let's see. And again, as you cast this magic, you felt another ping. And with this ping, you hear, along both you and Albin, who have used channeling thus far, hear what sounds like a crack along the supernatural lines that you are keyed into. What sounds like a cracking noise.
Over the sending stone, you hear Monty's voice quickly and quietly. Shit.
Oh, it's
All
always
right.
bad when he says that.
Oh, everything's normal with Monty.
So,
Whatever this thing is, though, just snapped. Not entirely too sure that's normal.
Penelope is hustling ahead.
all right, so y'all maybe hiking up your skirt a little bit, or your dress, making your way
The
down.
one hand, she can have the fan up and the skirt up, just kind of...
Excellent. So y'all make your way down. This is a long staircase that starts winding around corners, getting colder as you go down, and it feels like you are getting into a place of just so much chill and dampness. There's like a smell of like mold and dankness, like the smell of like someone who's tried to clean a place, but like there's only so much you can do in this environment.
Yeah.
And you notice that the bricks are like, they seem much denser. They're bigger. They're of a different type than the more for show brick that is out in the pretty, beautiful manor area. These are like rough, rigid stone that has been here for a long time. And as you make your way down, I'm going to need someone to make, whoever is scouting ahead, someone to make a survey roll.
Probably me.
All right.
I skulk.
While Leslie is doing that, Albin is going to hand Penelope their cloak. It's cold down here.
Oh, is it?
Got a 4.
A 4, partial success. So you manage to hear the sound of someone pacing, and then you hear the sound of someone pacing stop. And there's a little bit more of a curve of the staircase, so you can't see what's going on around the corner.
Now,
If you
that
don't
was
tell
including
Penelope to stop, Penelope's not going to.
Albin will, even if they don't say it, they'll probably physically, like, hand on shoulder, like, hold it. Also, that was with the +1, correct?
Oh, that was not with the +1 dice. So if you want to roll one more dice to see if you get a complete success.
Okay.
Hmm.
Roll one more dice to see if you get a complete success.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that was including.
Roll one more dice to see if you get a complete success.
And again, everyone gets 1 extra die on their next action.
Oh, very cool. What'd you get?
Sorry, miss. What am I supposed to roll again?
Oh, sorry. Just roll one more because you got an extra +1.
Monty's giant distraction gave everyone an additional die on their next action.
And that was a 6. Thank you for that die.
Woo!
Very nice. So you hear the pacing continue. Now, with the 6, you hear some swearing underneath the breath of someone, and Penelope, you recognize the voice. It is the voice of none other than Lucky, a vicious thug who you know. Now, what is your relationship like with Lucky? Positive or negative?
I think it ended positively.
Oh, but it was like, there was like a thing.
Well, Penelope's a lady now, so it's not
Mm.
like she can talk to Lucky anymore. So it ended. They were friends when she stopped talking to them.
I see. So you think you recognize Lucky around the corner. What would y'all like to do?
Penelope goes a shade pale.
Do I need to worry about your color at the moment?
Well, Lucky's around the corner. I haven't talked to him in ages. It'd be rather embarrassing. I don't know how you hold up these social standings anymore.
Would he be detrimental if we spoke to him?
Well, I don't know what he would be doing down here unless he's also trying to... Oh, we need to speak with Lucky. And then Penelope will continue around the corner.
Okay.
Okay, fine. I have
Okay.
your back.
No stopping her.
So Penelope, you go around the corner. Albin and Leslie, are you following behind, or are you staying around the corner?
I am following because I'm not going to let Penelope get into trouble on her own. Like, I don't know if my presence is gonna hurt or help, but Penelope's not going in alone.
Leslie?
I'm putting just at a little gap. Just kind of my skulking. I like to skulk.
Yeah, so you stay safe in the shadows. So as y'all turn around, you see there's like a little landing at the bottom of this staircase with torches, and you see a heavy metal door with bars over it, and you see Lucky, who is wearing a cloak very similar to the cloak that Leslie is wearing, pacing back and forth, glaring at the door.
Oh, he's
And
in a
he
cell.
turns around immediately and he goes, Penelope?
Lucky?
What? He like looks around and he's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing down here?
Oh, I could ask the same of you. What are you doing?
You know, work.
Well, I'm also doing work. I understand. It's been a while.
It has you. You look, you look great. You look great.
Thank you. You look like you're in a disguise.
Yeah, it's it there. Maybe I don't. Yeah, wait.
Did you find what you're looking for down here?
No. I mean, not that I'm looking for anything, but
Oh. If you had, then it might be advantageous for me to know if you found something.
well, it might be advantageous for me to let you know that there is someone who is absolutely bananas behind this door.
bananas.
Bananas. And
Bananas.
Bananas?
there was a lot of chanting, and the lights got weird, and it was very odd. And I know, I'm supposed to, like, you know, I may or may not be supposed to, like, protect and keep people from doing stuff, but I did not sign up for this.
Oh, Lucky, you didn't take a guard job, did you?
I may have taken a guard job. Listen,
Lucky!
you don't get to judge my actions. Not after you left.
Lovely reunion, but I do have one question for you,
Who are you?
Albin. Let's go with that. That wouldn't happen to be the house level knack behind that door, would it?
Maybe.
Yes or no? It's a simple question. It's not that hard.
He, like, crosses his arms, and he, like, looks around, and then he looks at you, and he goes,
Lucky, I'm gonna need to get past that door.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's particularly safe. I don't know what weird-ass thing they are doing here, but it is not okay in Lucky's book.
Lucky, our lives used to not be safe. What happened?
He, like, turns away for a moment before turning back and says, I didn't change. You did. And he holds your eye contact for a moment.
Penelope gets distressed.
Oh.
And
He goes,
I didn't change that much. I evolved. I moved on. I went for Lucky, I need to get past that door.
Do I need to move him for you?
Let's see. I'm gonna make a fortune roll to see how Lucky responds to this whole thing. To see if Lucky is going to let y'all by, or if he's going to put up resistance and get into a fight.
That look.
Tell me.
Lucky looks from you to Albin. He looks away and looks into the shadow. And he says, I can't, I won't stop you, but you have to promise me that you will destroy whatever you find inside. That is the only condition that I will let you by. Whatever is going on in there, it is not right. It is not natural.
Are there qualifications on when?
If you try to leave with whatever the hell they're guarding, I will try and take it from you if it is not destroyed. And because of who we used to be, to each other, I'm giving you the courtesy of that warning.
Thank you, Lucky. I hope not to run into you again.
I hope so as well. And he takes a couple steps forward and he turns his back towards the door.
Right.
That was a close one. What would y'all like to do?
Go through the door!
So you want to close the door and walk away? You want to go back up the stairs?
It's been a long day. Everyone's tired.
We could take up this later, right?
Albin's going to put a gentle hand on Penelope's shoulder. Should we wait for backup? We might need Monty for this.
If you could get Monty downstairs, that may be advantageous. If we have to break whatever's in there, if you're not good at hiding it.
All
So,
right. Do y'all put a call out to Monty?
I put a call out to Monty, and I'm like, yeah, that thing that you just said shit at, and I completely agree. We found the level mate, Knack. Too, by the way, possibly. Apparently he was up to something.
And you hear it from the stone. Everyone relax. Everyone calm down. I'll be there as quickly as I can. Everyone just relax. The
So
bear is fine.
He summoned Blue again. Bring Blue with you.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Bring Blue with you.
Get it to
So-
chase you.
Monty, you see a bunch of guards start coming into the room. What would you like to do? Let's play in the space. What would you like to do with this scenario? Blue seems rather upset. Or Baloo? Was it Blue or Baloo?
It was Baloo, like the beloved character from Jungle Book.
Excellent.
From Kipling. We'll Monty will like kind of step around Baloo and kind of bring his cloak wide and Baloo, relax, it's me. And he's going to try to sway Baloo.
And sway Baloo to do what?
To like focus in on him to again kind of make Monty the focus. And there's a flashback to like a number of like we'll do like a quick little montage of times that Monty has summoned Baloo for various reasons. Once to just basically walk with him, once to entertain a young man he was trying to pursue, once to entertain some children, once to fight a group of guards for him as he ran away. Baloo is a being that is known to Monty. Monty knows Baloo. Baloo is also typically like less than pleased that he's been summoned.
Gotcha. So I think that's a flashback that will cost 1 stress.
Okay.
But I think you do that and then you can make the sway roll, and because of that flashback, you can add a dice to it.
Thank you, because I need it. A 6 and a 5.
So you see Baloo rear up on his hind legs and look at the guards, and then you pull out your cloak and you say, Baloo, just look at me, just focus on me. And Baloo starts turning his head, locks eyes with you, and you see this bear almost give like a sigh. And he goes down onto 4 legs and he looks up at you. And he lets out a low growl, not one that's necessarily aggressive, but just a like, you brought me out again. You bringing me out again. What do you want now?
Baloo, it's fine. This young woman just loves dire bears and I thought it would be wonderful for you to make an appearance. Guards, it's perfectly fine. He's more than tame. He's a wonderful, trusted companion of mine. Montague the Magnificent, summoner of dire bears. And Monty will kind of stroke Baloo's head. And again, Baloo's a juvenile dire bear, so not full grown, but still quite
So
big.
there's acne.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. His growl is kind of squeaky, like
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that is... The guards really don't want to tangle with Baloo, so they're going to say, get that bear out of here, and they're going to start ushering the nobles out of the room, but there is a lot of chaos.
Come now, who doesn't want to socialize and see a dire bear like this up close? This is the party of the century now that Baloo is here.
And you think it might become the party of the century with how word is traveling, and you know that this story is going to be elevated with each telling, so Baloo might grow up over the course
Uh,
of these tellings. What would you like to do?
Baloo, Monty will lean down into Baloo's ear briefly.
Mhm.
I have to make way. Would you please distract them for me? Just do some simple tricks, juggle a little.
So-
the standard.
So because you got a 6, I will say Baloo sighs, gets up on his little hind legs, and he like picks up some pieces of the broken table, and he just starts going. But he has like this deep frown, like an animal frown of like very displeased with the situation, and then he like balances on one leg, then he balances on the other leg, and the guards are still keeping people at bay, but people are swarming around the perimeter of the guards and watching, and I think it's safe to say the guards and the people are very occupied with Baloo in this moment.
Baloo, everybody! Baloo, everyone! A big round of applause for our wonderful friend. Baloo, please entertain the crowd while I take a small walk.
For a moment I thought you were going to say, why I take a small pee-pee.
I was trying to figure out a way to say that, but
I'll have to
that
take a
walk would be,
tinkle.
Let's
I
take-
have to make a tinkle.
Okay, so you make your way. All the guards that would have been in your way, everyone has been drawn by this fucking dire bear, because again, the stories have expanded, so the part that, he's a juvenile dire bear has been lost by this point. By this point, he's a full-grown dire bear.
Okay.
So you make your way down. You see guards rushing past you the other way, not paying you any mind, and you make your way down to that same through the southern corridor. You turn and you start heading down these long stairs. You feel that cold air brushing across you, and as you make your way down, you see a large human with his arms crossed, facing the corner, kind of Blair Witch style, but he seems to be like sniffling a little bit. And you see your party members ahead of you standing at a metal door.
So Monty will kind of give the guy sitting in the corner like a little glance as he walks past, and then as he gets to the group, looks at Penelope. Was that lucky?
She nods and looks a little forlorn, and also seems to be occupying a corner with her mind.
What? What is Lucky doing here?
Apparently playing God.
It's another story for another time. We have work to do.
Okay. So you found the thing. Is it behind this door?
Yes.
Well, I suspect.
Well, let's go in.
Alright, let me first.
All
Let's
right.
try-
No,
defending
Penelope's
myself.
opening the door. No first. Done.
Oh, God damn it, Penelope.
So, as the door opens, because it's been previously, you see that like there must have been like a great lock on it at some point, but there had been like some burn signs. Like Lucky must have had some tools in order to like cut out the lock. So the door opens, and there's another small hallway ahead of you that leads to a more simple door. And the heavy metal door swings shut behind you. And as you walk down, you see a label on this door that helpfully says Vault.
Easy.
And as you open the door, it seems like the door handle has been broken, like someone broke the door. As you open it, you see this wide octagonal chamber. And the first thing that catches your eye is just piles of coin and treasure. You see like a crown, you see like a scepter, you see some fancy vases or vases. You see somewhat organized, but kind of in a hall, just a bunch all around the perimeter of this room. This seems to be, again, like the main vault for House
Oh.
Lavelle.
So many tapestries.
Oh, all the tapestries, some rolled up and stacked in the corner, some actually adorning the walls. And in the center, there is a raised platform about 4 feet wide. And you see first 2 people standing in front of the platform, kind of blocking your view. And one of them immediately turns around as you enter and says, "I told you to leave us alone," thinking you were lucky again. And it is, you recognize the Knack from House Lavelle. And he seems rather pale, like almost a little shaken of some sort. And he goes, What are you doing here? You're supposed to be watching the gate," seeing your uniforms that you're wearing. And he goes, you're guards, right? And the other person turns around, and Monty, you see
It's Terrence, isn't it?
Clemenza.
Oh.
You see Clemenza, an arcane dealer who you've had interactions with in the past. What has your relationship with Clemenza been like?
It's been a tumultuous relationship. Monty frequently goes to Clemenza for some supplies for more of the mundane magical things that he does, or reagents and such. But then also Clemenza has been known to traffic in the occasional powerful piece of magic or powerful artifact or item. And unfortunately, Monty always finds himself a few coins shy of those types of purchases. Which, for Monty, is Clemenza will never cuts Monty a deal. He'll never forsake him. Just those few coins. I'm only a few coins short. Oh, that's too bad.
And you see the sharp smile spread on Clemenza's face as they recognize you, and they say, "Oh, you're too late, Monty. Too late. We've already got dibs." And the person in House Lavelle says, "Monty, who's Monty? Are they guards? Are they guards? Are you guards? You're not guards. You might be guards? What?" And as you can't quite see what's going on behind them, because they're standing right next to each other and they just turned around. But you get a wave of that power, that presence from behind them. It's louder now in this room. Enough, it's almost like you hear a ringing in your ears.
Ooh.
What do you do?
Is Albin picking up on that too? Or is
Yes,
it just Monty?
anyone who's used channel thus far and has heard the presence has heard that.
Clemenza, what have you done? You, of everyone, should know artifacts of this power. You don't get dibs on them, they choose.
Artifacts. And I'm not. And then you see the Knack point a quivering finger like, "Oh, you're not guards!" He seems to take a minute to deduce. And he says, "It must have been you. You've caused this." And Clemenza says, "True, we've done nothing here but simply amazing. If you've been here and you've been using your magic."
Oh no, the artifact is clearly calling out to its rightful owner, which would be us. Would be me.
Owner, huh?
Well, owner is the incorrect term. The best way to be a partner.
I'm afraid, old friend, you're going to have to go through me and him. And he pushes the Knack forward, as if to say, "Knack, go first." So we can get into some business, or if you have another way to approach a situation, some other skill you want to use, you can absolutely do that.
I would like to use my maneuver to look behind them. As Monty's dialoguing with Clemenza, Alban wants to kind of circle this vault, because it's an octagonal vault, to where he can see behind the Knack and Clemenza. What's there?
You see on this pedestal what must have been at one point very fine gold. Very fragile, but it has since there's cracked gold all along this pedestal, on the top of this pedestal. Rounded chips of gold that seem very thin. And in the center, as Lucky's words of, "You must destroy it, or I'm going to stop you," as Lucky's promise rings through your head, you see curled up in the center a small baby dragon. And it looks at you curiously and blinks, and you feel the presence coming off of this dragon.
Oh,
I want the dragon.
this is...
Penelope just screamed that out loud.
I don't know if Penelope's seen it yet, but when Penelope sees the dragon,
If anybody's paying attention to Albin, their face
screw
just
Lucky,
went
there's a
from,
dragon.
like, Albin is just like, this just went from bad to what the really? You two? Really? This is what you... Oh my god, no wonder my head hurts.
In our defense, it was sedate for a very long time. It was an egg for a very long time, but presumably the influx of more magics, I would theorize.
Oh,
him...
you mean powerful magics?
No,
Yes.
I just mean magics.
Oh, it would take powerful magics to rouse a dragon from its egg. I doubt you could. I doubt you could muster the magic yourself.
I mean, I haven't tried.
No, I think it was more like when someone farts in a room, it just ends up spreading and filling the area. So I think any meager amount of magic that enters the atmosphere would spread onto this egg, causing it to awaken.
Clemenza, speaking of farts, how's your breath?
Still better than yours.
Your mother disagreed.
And you see his
My
face
joke.
like purple, and he says, "Quiet about my mother!" And let's see, what am I gonna do? He's going to cast a spell at you, Monty. So I'm going to, let's see. He's going to cast a spell. You're going to roll to resist this spell that is coming your way.
Yes, resist is my special armor.
Ah, yeah, your special, what is it related to? It's...
a complication related to magic against you or your coterie that you are present for.
So you managed to do, so your special armor is, if you're choosing to use it, it'll come into effect. What does it look like for you to either use your specialized armor or to otherwise deflect this spell?
So explain, or if you could describe the spell that Clemenza has cast. Like, what's it look like?
So you see him chanting, and a dark orange glow starts emanating from both of his hands, and then there is like a string of magic that connects both of them, and the orb that he's holding in the back gets bigger and bigger until all the magic is focused in his right palm, and then he shoots it forward with a accusatory finger, and midway in between you, the orange starts to alight, and it starts to turn into this fire, this bolt of fire heading towards you.
Monty's cloak flies back, and one hand goes into the air, and it makes like a fan motion, and the energy is drawn from the air to his palm, where it starts to circle, and then he like flicks his fingers, and it flips into his other hand, where he just extinguishes it by closing his fist.
Cool shit. Hell yeah. All right, let me just write a little something.
And then Monty like opens his palm and like smells his hand. Yes, it smells like your mother.
Sorry for the levels for that. Sorry, y'all.
It's fine.
Sick burn! Dick! Okay.
So, while while Clemenza and Monty are farting around, sorry, I had to make that joke. How is
Nice.
the dragon reacting to all of this? Because
Seems
Alvin is paying no attention to Monty and Clemenza. All focus is
kind
on
of
this
curious.
creature.
Kind of curious. His head is kind of craned up, and he's like looking around, and his eyes are really big, and they're this bright, like almost white blue.
Oh, that's just...
And it's a gold dragon.
So, for player knowledge, because Alvin would probably know this, but I don't, how significant are dragons in Illyrian lore?
So they play a pretty major role in many stories of long ago, of many ancient stories. You'll see them show up in mythos and surrounding different heroes of legend, but there hasn't been a dragon seen in thousands of years. It is common knowledge that they have long been extinct.
Alvin's going, as everything is going on, Alvin is definitely approaching this dragon. Still not sure what they're going to do with it, but definitely approaching with caution, and honestly, like, their own sort of curiosity is getting to them.
Are you trying to be sneaky about this?
Oh, no. If the dragon sees Alvin is... Alvin is unsure of what they're doing, they just know they're moving forward. And, like,
The
is
Nat
this
Going
real?
around the other side.
say what?
And Leslie's going around the other side.
Leslie's going around the other side. Okay, you too see this dragon. The Knack, however, sees you, Albin, and moves to intercept you and say, "No, this dragon belongs to House Lavelle."
A dragon?
Well, you said the word out loud, thank you, but how, when, where did you find a dragon egg? Where?
None of your business. Are you trying to use the skill here?
No, but, I mean, study potentially, but that's more for the dragon than the knack. But also just, like, they haven't been seen for thousands of years, or 1,000 years. And you want to... Do you know what it takes to feed one of these things?
We have consulted the deep lore, of course. And his face kind of looks like a kid who's been fibbing a little bit, and just kind of like someone who like said, "Yeah, I totally looked it up," and they looked it on Wikipedia.
I've done my own research.
That flat look of like, yeah, I'm gonna believe you. Just, oh god. No.
Let's see, Leslie. What are you doing?
Leslie's working their way around. Is there like a backside to this pedestal, or is it right up against the wall?
It's dead in the center, so it's you can go like as around as you want.
I'm going
Are you trying to be sneaky?
Of course. I'm just
Roll
trying to
me.
pick up a strategic point from the behind while the others are distracted.
So I would say this is risky for standard effect. Go ahead and make a skulking roll to see how sneaky you are, while the dude is currently in conversation with Alvin.
Can my conversation with the knack be distracting enough to give Leslie an extra die on that as an assist?
I don't need an extra die. It's fine.
Okay.
You got a 6?
I got a 6 and a 5.
Very
Nice.
nice. So the knack has his back to you and is talking completely to Alvin while you are circling around. Penelope, what are you doing?
Solid question. There's a dragon. Penelope's curious and wants to see the dragon. She's gonna coordinate with Leslie because
Okay.
that's part of Penelope's plan.
Okay, so I'm gonna say if you're trying to be sneaky, you'll also make a skulk roll. If you're not, you can just go.
No, I have to be sneaky because Leslie's there. I'm going to try and be sneaky. I
So-
will take some stress for this.
Yeah, you also get a 1d. I'll say that Albin is assisting by being distracting.
Has
You mind-
everyone used their bonus die from my
Not
previous
yet.
distraction? Okay.
Ooh.
I don't think I have. Can I,
I don't
throw
think
that
you
in?
have yet either.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, so I've got the die from stress, the die from the distraction, and then the die to roll.
Mhm.
That's it, right?
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and a die from an assist.
Yeah, you're getting 2 assists technically from this.
I wonder if maybe do you think it would make sense for Penelope to try to consort with the dragon?
I would love to consort with the
100%.
dragon. So I got a 1, a 2, a 6, and a 5.
Awesome. So with that 6, you are also very sneaky. Maybe you took off your shoes, or maybe like in whatever way you're doing it, you are also managing to be as sneaky as Leslie. So Albin, you see your 2 colleagues moving around on the outside. Monty, you are engaged in a duel, in a pseudo duel / word battle with with Clemenza.
I cast Vicious Mockery.
You've been casting vicious mockery. Those have been
Wrong
some
system. Wrong
digs.
system. Sorry.
Those have been some digs. I'll in fact do a tick on Clemenza's clock because those were some pretty sick burns. What happens next?
Bless you.
I want a
think. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
dragon to be my friend.
Yeah.
Can I consort with the dragon?
Yeah, you can consort with the dragon. Give it a shot.
So what?
I'm gonna
What
say.
Penelope's gonna do? Oh, so go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say that in order to earn, there is a way for you to earn this dragon's trust. So it'll take more than just this one roll, but you'll be able to work towards earning this dragon's trust.
Cool. I like this. So, Penelope is making her way to the dragon because it's a baby, and she's looking at it. It's like, oh, hello, little dragon. She kind of sticks her finger out. It's like, look, here I am. I'm a person. And she looks over to Leslie and is like, Lucky is going to kill me.
All right, go ahead and make the roll.
So I got a 6 and a 6.
That's a critical success. So I'm gonna say you advance the clock for the dragon's trust by 2 clicks, by 2 ticks. And this dragon immediately leans forward and like sniffs at your hand. You see a little snake tongue come out and like boop, boop, like lick at your finger a little bit, and he like tilts his head a little bit. Like, who are you? What's going on here?
I'm your new best friend. Come into my hand.
All right, Leslie, Albin, what are y'all doing?
I'm
Shaking our heads.
Albin is still just in a state of like mild shock that there's a dragon in front
Mm-hmm.
of them. If the knack doesn't the knack have a name?
Terrence.
What did we say?
Terrence.
Terrence? Yeah, that sounds like a great name. Terrence the Neck for House Lavelle.
You know what?
Who actually, you know Terrence? You don't know Terrence. You know Ari, Terrence's partner.
Yeah.
Ari, your childhood rival, if I do believe.
Yeah. I'm also going to invoke that bond just a little bit.
Please do.
This is what you've been doing. I thought you were farting around with Ari. I mean, betrothed, but this is what you've been hiding from me? A dragon.
It is business that is far above my pay grade. It's not like we could tell you.
All the things.
Of course, House Lavelle would have word of the first dragon in ages. Of course.
And you sit in the middle of your vault on a night of a party where there are going to be plenty of knacks, not just me, not just Montague, and you invite Clemenza, of all people? What did you expect would happen?
We had no idea that the dragon egg would react this way, nor is it common for people to necessarily channel. We thought this would be... We did... Listen, we tried. I'm not great at villain monologues. My villains really end up...
Not properly planned.
We did our best. We had an action plan and everything. And
Action plan
besides, it would
included.
be more suspicious if they canceled the party. We would
Okay,
be
an action
swarming
plan
with
that-
spies.
Okay, yeah, action plan that include House Corvetto mercenaries as your
Who do
boss.
you
Not...
think got us the egg?
Oh, dear goodness. And what favors do they ask of y'all?
That is none of your concern.
It is my concern when you're involved.
No matter. It is House Lavelle's business and House Lavelle's business alone.
And House Corvetto's.
And House Corvetto's, of which you are neither. This
Alright.
dragon will be the dawning of a new age. So if you are wise, you will want not to infuriate these houses. They will rise to the top of the Isiltair with this dragon.
Corvetto's already at the top of the Isiltair. Are they planning on using this thing as a freaking weapon?
He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, weapon. Got it. Parents, I love you, but there are times when you drive me absolutely fucking mad.
House above all. I had no choice.
Okay, what about the people in the street?
Should they stay compliant, there will be no risk. We will raise this dragon well. It is for the benefit of all.
Benefit of all. Benefit of the House Corvetto. And you played
And
right
House
into their
Corvetto.
hands. And Lavelle played right into Corvetto's hands. I
Oh,
can't let them use this in their tyranny.
well, how do you suggest we proceed? We will not let you have this dragon. He is not aware of the people behind him who are talking to him.
Jaggedy. You're gonna go with Uncle Leslie.
Just at this point, Alvin is also no longer paying attention to the dragon necessarily,
Mhm.
but just like, oh, this is
So-
a headache.
So we're gonna pop back to Leslie. Is there anything I should know about or that you would like to do in this scene before we pop back to Monty and the wizard duel?
Looking around to see if there's anything in this vault that could contain a magical being or something.
There's a ton of tapestries.
Roll me a survey, because there's a lot of things in this room. And if you haven't already, you can use your extra dice from
No,
Montague.
I had used mine earlier.
Oh, use your earlier? Awesome. Yeah, then go ahead and make it a roll.
5 and 3.
So with the 5, you find a beautifully ornamented, what looks like a bird cage. You think the dragon can fit in there. The problem being, it's rather big and bulky, so it might be hard to sneak out. But you do see something that the dragon could go in.
Not worried about the sneaking. I'm good at that.
Well, and y'all also did some excellent planning ahead of time. That might make your job significantly easier. Now, Monty, how are you responding to this magical attack on you? Are you responding with aggression? Are you trying to de-escalate the situation? How are you responding to this?
The resist action, the nullification of Clemenza's spell.
Mhm.
Monty's going to try to play that as in a way that will de-escalate.
Okay.
As if to say, don't waste any more of your time. Don't waste any more of your power. We
Okay.
both know, Clemenza, we both know how this is going to end, and it will end poorly for you. I may
So-
not be rich of coin, but I am rich in power, and that is unfortunately something that you can never be.
So, it kind of sounds like you're doing a command, unless you can make an argument for one of your other skills.
Oh, arguments are not my strong suit.
Or at least tell me a story that works with the other ones. That's what I'm looking for.
So, I think I'd like to try to use sway, or
Okay.
perhaps, in fact, no, I'm going to use study, because as a magician of Monty's excellence, I've gotten the chance to see Clemenza use his abilities in small ways over time, and knowing the way that Clemenza casts his magic and the reagents that he uses himself, it's a foregone conclusion that if in a battle between myself and Clemenza will lose. It may be at cost to my own abilities, but he will lose.
All right.
And I'd like to say that in the past, Clemenza has seen Monty do some amazing things, some things that are certainly above Clemenza's power level, but maybe they don't necessarily hint to a Montague's true power.
Gotcha. Well, go ahead and I'm sold. Make me a study roll.
Okay. That is a 5, a 3, and a 1.
So with a 5 as your highest, you see Clemenza kind of lower his hand and like sneer. And you see Clemenza say, "It matters not. I didn't want to fight you anyway. And moreover, you'll never get away with this dragon. The wards have already been activated. The guards will be alerted."
Guards in chaos right now.
I can guarantee the guards are busy at the moment. And then the camera cuts back to Baloo, like doing like a little dance. He's taken a lady's like headpiece, and Baloo is like kind of dancing around the edge of the crowd, and everyone in the crowd's like clapping along with like a non-existent music, just giving a Baloo a beat to dance to.
So, where y'all are at is that you need to either convince, threaten, defeat, or otherwise remove these two people from your way. They are currently in the way of you taking the dragon, where it is at. What would y'all like to do? You can also try a grab and run, if that might be something that you're working towards, but what is your exit plan? How are you planning to get out of this situation? And you can talk above the table if you want to like plan a little bit.
Penelope's only plan is grab and run. She's imagining passing this off to Leslie, telling Leslie, "Don't get caught by Lucky, I'll distract Lucky." But that's the only thing that I have planned so far.
What you can do is duck into the servants' crowd, and we have a pretty good chance of getting out.
And
I
having
used my special ability.
Ooh, very good. I think Monty, hearing Clemenza talk about the wards, that was something that I don't think we prepared for. So Monty is preparing to do something to break the wards.
So you get the sense that he was talking about alarm wards, so not necessarily things that are like a shield or anything, but something that goes off. So like there's probably an alarm going off somewhere.
Got it. So I think what Monty is going to do next, to try to assist the escape with the dragon, is to rend the weave.
Ooh, say more.
When you prepare a space with arcane regents, it tears the fabric of the magical weave. Channeling in the area becomes either impossible or unbelievably potent, your choice.
Cool.
So I'm going to, I think, given what has just happened, I saw a Clemenza blow what could have been the most powerful spell he's ever made. And I think I'm not horribly familiar with Terrence. I know he's a knack of some renown, Terrence. But if I do this correctly, then perhaps it would break the alarm and also render the other magic users in the room helpless.
Okay. And then Alvin, what is your plan, or how are you adding to this situation?
Don't necessarily want to hurt Terrence, but Clemenza I don't care about. If Clemenza even so much as twitches a hand towards Arnak, I'm going to take Clemenza out. Otherwise, I'm just gonna react to the situation as best as I can, given everything. Whether that's assisting Penelope and Leslie, or Montague, or even just debilitating Terrence.
So, with all that in mind, here's the scene. You all are spread out in this octagonal room. There's low light from the torches, and even in the low light, the gold from the fragments of the dragon egg and on the scales of the dragon itself seem to glisten, seem to be shining almost from like its own light from within. And there's a moment of silence and stillness as everyone is pausing, looking at each other, looking around. You hear a small chirp from the dragon. And then suddenly everyone is in motion. And we're gonna start first with Penelope and Leslie. So y'all still need 2 more successes or 1 critical success in order for this dragon to trust you.
So Penelope will pick up a handful of gold coins and offer it to the dragon.
Ooh!
It's like the
Yeah.
only dragon legend that I know of.
Yeah, go ahead and do a consort roll and add a dice.
So that's a 5 and a 4.
So, you get another tick on the dragon's trust. Only 1 more success is needed. You do hear from upstairs what sounds like stomping boots. Leslie, what's the plan?
So, we're using consort to try to get the.
Yeah, we've set up that precedent.
I'm going to show it its lovely golden cage. That is all for it. Using consort.
All right, go ahead and give it a roll.
Beautiful dragon home.
I only get 1 die, but
Do you want to push yourself or take the lady's favor?
I'll push myself since still I don't have much.
We're getting towards the end here.
Yeah.
And that's a 6 and a 4.
Very nice. So you finish off. The dragon looks at both of you with its wide eyes, and it starts creeping a little bit closer,
You put the
little
gold
closer.
in the cage.
and he hops into the cage. And then all of this is happening kind of at the same time. And then we're gonna bounce to Montague. Montague, you immediately. What does it look like when you try to rend the weave? Walk me through it.
So Montague looks over at Terrence and Clemenza. Sorry, friends. And he throws his cloak wide and puts both of his hands in the air, and it looks like he is actually making like this gathering motion.
Mm-hmm.
He's like gathering with his hands, and you can kind of feel this arcane energy like pulling itself to his hands in the room. It's almost as if there's a slight bend to everyone's vision briefly as the energy in the room just kind of goes toward Montague's hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he will form both of his hands into fists like this, and then there's this line of energy that goes between his hands, almost like it looks like a line of steel, like it's just so shiny and bright. And he takes both those hands and he does this motion, and the line snaps, and there's this reverberating wave through the room, and everybody who uses arcane energy in the room can like feel the energy just like from the room, like it's gone.
So
It's very draining. I would say this would likely cause Montague like a few points of stress as well.
does it say in the little rend the weave? Does it say that you have to roll anything?
It does not.
Huh. Why don't okay, so I'm gonna say you do it. Roll a channel to see how impacted the Terrence and Clemenza are.
And possibly Albin.
And possibly Albin.
And
yeah.
Albin and the dragon.
I got a 1 and a 6.
So with the 6, you see, I'm gonna say, Clemenza just like knocks the fuck out. And he like kind of crumples and collapses on the floor. And you see Terrence, who, let me mark Clemenza's clock. You see Terrence absolutely drop to his knees, but he's still up. And he looks up at you, Albin, and he reaches a hand to his pouch, and he says, I won't let you take the dragon. It is your move, Albin. What would you like to do?
I don't think you've got a choice at this point. Sorry, Terrence. I cannot let Corvetto get a hold of this dragon.
Alright, what skill do you think you're using?
I
think it's called KTFO.
I'm actually going to use Skirmish. I'm also going to add 2 points of stress to that because I'm a, paramour. I don't want to do this, but hey. But also non-lethal knockout.
Duly noted.
Like, I want him out for a long time, not permanently.
Do you want to... You're taking stress. Yes, okay, cool. Go ahead, roll it up.
And that would be 4 die, so...
Nice.
Because I still have the one from Montague earlier.
Very nice.
6, a 5, a 4, and a 2. Not a critical success, but a success.
A success nonetheless. Yeah, tell me how you knock this guy out.
I'm going to kiss him gently, and then I'm going to do that nerve pinch. Just
Nice.
reach my hand back and go, pinch. Sorry. Time to go.
Alright, and so, y'all start sprinting your way out of the room, and what is the plan for dealing with Lucky?
So, unless anyone opposes this, Penelope is going to rush out first, looking flushed and upset.
Okay. What's the goal?
The goal is to catch Lucky's attention.
Okay. Let's see. Why don't you roll me a... Let's say consort. We're this deep into it.
So it's a 5 and a 4.
So you successfully capture Lucky's attention. He goes, What's wrong? Are you okay?
I'm not okay. There was a monster in that room.
I know. It has to be destroyed.
I couldn't deal with it. It was too much. I didn't know how to deal with it, Lucky.
Is it still in there?
It might be. I didn't see where it went.
You see him kind of like puff out his chest, and he says, I can end this. For you.
Lucky, that would be the greatest thing if you would go in there and take care of that monster for me.
He nods and rushes past your friends into the room.
As he rushes out, you hear her mumble under her breath, Lucky is going to kill me. It's like, run out.
He's gonna have a broken heart. He's gonna have an achy breaky heart for sure.
It's gonna be bad.
Alright,
Yeah.
so y'all start making your way up the stairs. What is your exit plan? How are you getting out? This party has turned to chaos. There is still a dire bear summoned upstairs. The wards have gone off, although you think they might have gone silent because of the rend in the magic. The guards are alert as all hell, but alert to what is hard to say. Tell me what your exit plan is, and then we'll make a roll to see how that exit plan goes.
So we do have access to the back corridors.
Yes.
So we're definitely, that would be our best shot. About halfway up, I have my servant's costume waiting for me. So
Okay.
I can go back in under that. So we have 2 choices for me to hide the dragon. Either I hide it, or Penelope hides it under her dress. Because those
It
are the
could-
places with the most room.
Easily go in the peignets, but we also have a catering cart.
I'm thinking we still have to get it to the catering cart.
Beignets it is. There's a shuffle happening.
Alright, so you managed to get it under there and maybe grip the cage with your thighs? And kind of shuffle?
I don't think
Or,
anyone
like-
would look under there after the other
I think
party stuff.
Penelope's like feigning some sort of injury, or like, oh, I had too much to drink, or
You're leaning on Albin a little much.
there
Also,
might be some carrying happening.
is Penelope using the giant peignets? Or
Oh yeah, Penelope
Okay,
has gone full tilt into the lady thing.
then, yeah, there might actually be enough room in some of those peignets for the cage itself. Like, the
100%.
big old
Excellent.
Once
Mary
once
Antoinette
we come
hips.
out into the main quarter, I think myself will make an appearance. Because I've had my outfit under the whole time.
Mhm.
Very nice. All right. So is the plan? So the plan is to almost do a sneak kind of buy, like not alert the guards to what's going on. Say, oh no, I'm not the problem. Other things are the problem.
That sounds like what we're going for.
Oh,
So let's
God.
see let's see what role would that be. That would. Let's see. If anyone can tell me a story for their specific thing, we can do a group action for a specific action. So this might be a maneuver. You traverse quickly and skillfully. This could be a survey. This could be a sway. This could be... You're not really using rec.
So there's
Yeah,
not really
what's up?
anything major we have to do until we have to leave the servants back at us.
Yeah, I have a question because this is a lore question and something Alba would know, but I do not. What creatures other than dire bears apparently exist that could be dangerous that House Lavelle could have an interest in that aren't necessarily dragons because they haven't been seen in 1,000 years?
You know that there are like lion tamers and like tiger tamers and things like that. Their ethics are questionable at best, but you know that they exist. There's not very many supernatural creatures outside of lore.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna do this.
Or should I say corporeal creatures?
Yeah. As we're bustling through the servants' quarters, I scratch my ankle with the point of my sword a little bit.
Okay.
Guys, there was a lion down there, right?
Oh,
Nudge, nudge,
definitely.
wink, wink. Yeah. So when we get out
Terrifying
of
lion.
Enormous.
when we get out of here, story is I got hit by a lion. Guards better take care of it.
Sounds like a wonderful story.
Whoever
I
wants to make that life for me, go for it. But I
I
can
will
provide this.
Yeah,
There
no.
was a lion! There was a lion in the face!
Penelope, once we're out of the
Okay,
servants,
well, what was
Say that-
Leslie? What was Leslie saying?
I said I will be the support for Penelope now in my guard, because if I don't make an appearance, the rumor may come up that I didn't show myself too. So I need to show myself.
Yep. All right. So, someone who's going to take point with this, either maneuver or sway.
I have
Monty is
two.
Monty's
Fine.
exhausted, so Monty's kind of hanging back. You know this type of thing takes a lot out of him. So like today's been a lot.
Okay.
I don't have big points in either of those.
Okay, I can't use house card for this. I'm gonna go ahead and use my maneuver because I get +2 for that. Or I get
All
2
right, and
to
then
begin with.
if everyone's doing a group action, everyone else also roll maneuver, and then you'll get the highest out of all of the dices, and whoever rolls 1 to 3, Albin, you would take stress for that, but you could still succeed on this action.
I rolled a 3.
Okay, that's 1 stress.
Sorry.
Also a 3.
That's 2 stress.
Oh, motherfucker.
How much stress have you taken up to this point?
I got a 6 and a 6. Sorry.
Oh, thank God,
Oh,
because I
thank
got
God.
1 and 1.
Thank God.
So you take 2 stress.
do I take 4? Because I also rolled snake eyes, personally.
So there's no like critical failure
Okay.
thing, and I think it's only. I'm not sure. You can take an extra stress if you want, but like, this is like the last roll of the game. So
Okay,
you know what?
I'm gonna go ahead and take all 4.
Yeah, let's make it
I
more
rolled-
dramatic.
2 ones. God, I am 1 point away from feeling stress.
No, same with Monty's at 8 of 9.
That's where I like to be. That's where I like to be. But
I
Penelope,
think... Sorry, go ahead, Stevie.
Penelope sells it. Penelope is the one who is selling it.
Just because she's screaming about the lion in the basement.
Yep. So, tell me a story about how y'all escape. Y'all do. You managed to sway your way out of here. Tell me how y'all managed to do that. If each of you could add a detail to what is conspiring here and how y'all escape to this ending of this story, what would you add?
So Penelope is leaning on Albin, we've already determined, and because clearly she was hurt by the lion. And Albin saved her from the lion in the basement, and there must be something done about that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Albin's very visibly hurt because they've now got a bloody gash along their ankle that looks like it could have been from a claw. They're limping. They look very exhausted, like they've just had a very exhausting fight. So, adding that little physical detail of like, oh, no, something did happen. They're hurt. So.
Leslie?
I swoop in, looking like myself, and start making a huge fuss along with, I can't believe that would happen at the House Laval. I mean, something must be done. Oh, and I aid Penelope's other side because Albin's injured as well.
Truly ruinous, truly ruinous.
Monty's pushing through back to Baloo. And he's kind of tired. Oh, yeah, yes. Thank you again, Baloo, everybody. Baloo, please, if you enjoyed Baloo's show, we enjoy the money that jingles, but we prefer the kind that folds. Please, and for all of your entertainment needs, please turn to Montague the Magnificent from House Bastion. I am more than happy to assist with any of your further entertainment needs at these soirees. Everyone have a wonderful evening, and we will bid you adieu. And then Monty will flourish his cloak, and the last bit of magic he'll perform is that Baloo immediately just unsummons. He's just in a poof of blue and yellow smoke.
Done.
Please say thank you.
So, y'all, and Monty, you run and you meet back up with your crew just as you're exiting with like this massive, there is a torrent of people leaving this party because shit has gone sideways in like the biggest way.
Was there any money thrown for Baloo?
Yes, there was. Oh wow, you got a 6. You got quite a bit of money. You got a good number.
Yeah, so as the crowd's leaving, Monty is very quickly like kind of running around and like picking money up off the floor, trying to be very cool about it, but it's like, yeah, all right.
Money, yeah. So y'all make your way out of the house and into the night. And as the camera watches your party kind of ragtag, leaning on each other, juggling like money, and there's a cage under some petticoats, you make your way back to House Bastion. And we follow you as you arrive to the Chamberlain, the person who watches the door, takes one look at you and is like, what in the hell happened? And y'all say, well, it's been quite a night. And the camera starts to pan back as we start to see the grandeur of House Bastion. We pan back a little bit more to see the grandeur of Ilrin. We can see the lights going on still at House Lavella, who in the coming days faces quite a backlash for the disastrous and ruinous party. But this dragon has made its way to safety. And we end with what do you do with the dragon? What is the epilogue here? What do y'all do with the dragon?
So I would like to add that at that moment, Penelope's legs give out and the cage falls, and the dragon just goes, "Meh."
Yeah, as the guy's like, what happened tonight?
Excellent.
Albin's last line is, Penelope happened, that's what.
Penelope is excited to have a new pet. She's very excited about her new dragon friend.
You missed a hell of a party.
And with that,
I'm gonna have a
with
lot of
Leslie
things to
shaking
do.
their head in the background. Like, I just can't stand with this. We have a slow fade to black. And we see the Amuse Bouche will return next time with an extra friend. And that is where we are going to call today's game. So thank y'all so much for being players in this game. Y'all did a truly excellent job. Thank you so much. Thank you to all you out in Twitch land for hanging in there and watching with us and being a part of this. I'd love for everyone to go around and just give your name as well as where people can find you one last time. Danielle?
Once again, I'm Danielle, and you can find me here, or you can find me on the One-Legged GM YouTube channel.
Awesome. Aaron?
I'm Erin. I'm the other half of Escapebox Games, and you can find me through there or on Drive Through RPG or Itch.
Excellent.
Nice.
Corey?
I'm Corey. You can find me here on Rook and Rasp coming up soon. And you can also find me at the Midnight Alley podcast
Awesome.
on
And
YouTube.
Michael?
Hey, folks, you can find me on socials at LoserMLW. You'll see me in the upcoming charity stream for Rook and Rasp, as well as you can find me on the Redemption Podcast, a Star Wars actual play, and that's at redemptionpodcast.com.
All right, and I was your storyteller today. Again, my name is Stevie. You can find me on Twitter at Gigglebutch, or you can find me on the upcoming charity stream as a player. You can also find me in my home. Please don't find me there. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here. We will see you for Leaps and Bounds on Tuesday, and in 2 weeks for the charity stream. Thanks, y'all.
Bye, y'all.